There we go. And finally, last one to ready up, and then we'll be underway. SVIFT versus Se7en. This is going to be the match a lot of people have been expecting, not only for this cup, but for the upcoming Insomnia LAN. We will be having those brackets for the group stages showing up at the end of this grand finals. So everyone who's here, you can get a sneak peek at what's going to be happening for the first day of the Insomnia LAN. All the group stages to get the seating set up for the rest of the weekend and set the pace for the official LAN tournament. Now we are finally ready up. SVIFT, Banny, getting a nice little rocket jump all the way early on to get to the pack and get out the door. Ali getting to the choke point roughly the same time as Cadis, who's also at the choking eyes on top of Salentes, who's quickly gone to drop down underneath the point, and Cadis has dropped down into the banana room. Going to be rotating over to the right side. He does spot out the players of SVIFT against the wall, and he is all alone inside the big door, going to get out on his own. We do see an initiation from Captain, who does manage to pick up on the ass, but gets cleaned up immediately by Ali, who hits a nice little pipe there, who's walking forward, but there is actually a soldier Drac right on top of him, going to be getting eyes onto them. Walks forward, tries to connect onto Raptor. He does manage to finally get it, but nice little Raymond arrow picks up Salentes, but Slash is going to be able to clean that up very quickly and gets onto Samsy right now. Oh, he loses the 1v1. Samsy with 6 HP, gonna come on top of that. Oh, can Raymond do it? No, Raymond is gonna go down as well. And SVIFT take the first mid.
So I'm first gonna point out that there was some brain play involved on the rollout because Samsy was on sniper on respawn, and I think Starkey was on spy, so maybe they called for a sniper, but then Samsy switched back, and Talash did the same anymore as well. So yeah, you know, some brain play incoming. But now Raptor is sitting on a 40% ad, and looks like Banny wants to use this nice air shot to Captain from Banny, and that forces Se7en to retreat to their last. They're gonna sit there with a kind of a big disadvantage, like 50%, and Talash is already going engineer, building this sentry as fast as he can, while Cadis is holding underneath the point with his stickies. And now it's gonna be up to SVIFT to break the defense and get the first round of this game.
The Uber comes in right away, and Ali gets juggled in the air by the Sentry. Sentry finally gets taken down, and now rotating over to the left side is Banny jumping onto the point. Goes underneath, Cadis is underwater, and as a result, he got picked off by Samsy. Banny does exchange with Drac, and the Pyro has come in. Starkey desperately trying to kill Raptor, does finish that off, and it's just Samsy alive. He does get cleaned up by Thalash, and the repush is going to happen. Thalash going to get onto the cap right away. Beefed push from SVIFT.
Control point is being captured.
Well, Beef, I don't know, Starkey pushed back the Uber really well. He completely stuck Ali and Raptor against the wall, so it was really hard for them to push. And now Raymond has the Uber. Guildwash is really hard last to push, even though we have had, because it's really like you can kite the Uber and hide, so it's really hard for Uber. Doesn't mean you can get the last at all time.
Banny now getting the brunt of this Uber exchange, tries to jump away, does manage to get a little bit of damage onto Drac as well, before getting cleaned up by Starkey. He picks up a second one onto Salentes. No soldiers on the side of SVIFT, and Samsy's going for a back cap here. He's going to get met up by Mr. Captain, who juggles off to the point. Samsy tries to win the 1v1 against Starkey, but Starkey has better of it. And Ast managed to pick up Drac in the choke, and I don't know what Se7en's doing. They're so afraid of pushing through this choke because all the stickies couldn't clear them out. Finally getting onto the point and finishing off this cap. Alligator rotating over to the choke, and now we're potentially reaching dangerous levels of stalemate because Ubers are very close, but there is an advantage from SVIFT, and they want to push on it right now.
Yeah, they don't want to wait for Starkey to go in the back lines and cause havoc in their line, so they just want to use every edge they have. We can see Banny going really aggressive over point. It's taking some damage, but he lives, and Raptor doesn't even have to use. Raymond and his team playing really cautiously there. They didn't want to commit at the risk of dying, and now the Ubers are going to be the same on second, and this is pretty much the situation I was talking about before the game. Se7en sitting on their second and waiting for the opposing team to push out of mid.
You see a little bit of aggression from the scout and the roamer Salentes trying to work their way to this big door while Cadis is spinning pipes desperately. There is a trap above the door, doesn't pop. And now we go onto the side of Thalash, who's got the sniping out. He's hitting so many headshots. Can he connect another one? He does on the Raptor and takes him down. It's a follow-up bomb from Salentes, who cannot thread that needle. Raymond survives for just a moment longer. Starkey now rushing forward with A little bit of help of Drac, trying to work their way through the big door. Samsy backing out. The faint sound of the Uber decaying in that dropped weapon as they walk past it and push forward. The Lash, an amazing snipe play right there in the big door.
Yeah, so okay, the headshot was completely amazing from Talash, but when you're a medic and you have the Uber, why would you ever walk into the sightline of a sniper as good as Talash? It doesn't make sense to me. I feel like this has been kind of a mistake by Raptor there. I don't know what the calls were in the situation, but yeah, it's kind of a questionable play from, in my opinion, questionable positioning from Raptor there.
So much damage onto Cadis. Raptor desperately trying to hit that last arrow to kill him, but cannot. Has to rush in, actually, trying to get onto his teammates. Samsy was in the 4th spawn, and Cadis is going to pick up his 4th frag in this exchange. He gets the pain trade out, tries to connect on it, but doesn't. A follow-up bomb from Captain will be able to take that down. Ali tries to retaliate with a little bit of a pipe spam. Banny going to finally get that pick onto Captain. And Starkey now with the Uber, with his scout buddy Thalash, going to be rotating over to River. No, they're going to be going through main. The shutter pops right away. Se7en walks behind, though, and then doubles back. He's going to be coming in, trying to cut off their escape route, while the rest of the scouts are pouring in.
For so long. That was a beat from Talash, I don't know. Yeah, sorry I cut you, but that was completely out of the unreal. And now Starkey wants to go back in with the help of Raymond, and maybe Drac can come back from Riverside, but this is looking really dire for Se7en right now. Danny just flanking out Raymond with a knife rocket. Captain is jumping in, he gets no one in the process, and this Uber was so bad. I'm sorry to point that out, but that was really a dreadful Uber. Talash saves the day though and kills Raptor.
Starkey picks up his 6th kill, picking up Ali at the very end of that exchange. And now Cadis, the only demo man on the scene, has stickies on the thing, on the shutter. Samsy clears it out, tries to work his way out for the rest of his team. Banny now rotating through the upper battlements. Sorry, IT doesn't even exist on this map. He was peeking his way through the battlements, but decided to back off. Captain now working his way towards River. Players are getting primed for a defense here from SVIFT. And Se7en are getting in position, going up top, building up this Uber. It's even on both sides, but the Lash is on the sniper. Going to be looking for an angle from River, potentially getting a shot on the players by the window, namely Raptor.
And Samsy is on Engineer, getting a level 3 sentry just under the stairs, so it can deny jumpers. But knowing Se7en, we all know that they're going to wait for Talash to get a nice shot to Raptor. I mean, he did it once, so why not twice?
The Lash now at an angle from lower main, trying to get eyes on the players, but Raptor is so aware of it, He's sitting by the corner, crouched gently and buffing up his players as they peek and prod their way through the balcony. Banny rotating underneath. I don't know if the Lash can get a better angle here, potentially from River, because there's actually a lot of freedom for him. It's only Se7en essentially getting eyes on it, and Samsy's all the way back in the spawn. This sniping angle needs to be adjusted. Finally, he does work his way over. Might get a shot onto Se7en if he can get a little bit healthier, but no, he's too weak. He backs off. And they need to be taking their medic with Stalash whenever they peek these corners. Oh, so close! Raptor is crouching under the pipe, stays alive while Stalash got that angle, but could not connect it because Raptor has found the god spot. He cannot be sniped if he crouches behind that pillar and no sightline over that little pipeline. Valve, please fix.
I don't know, from my perspective it looks like he could be hit, but yeah, it's really hard to tell. Yeah, maybe not actually, but I don't really like to be crouching because you can move around less freely, but I guess that saves you from the sniper. Didn't just finally get Stalash, so that's a sniper dive from Se7en, and with their sniper out of the fight, Se7en just retreating all the way back to the second point, with Raymond holding onto that big door area. Banny is trying to go aggressive onto lobby, while Se7en kills Captain but gets traded with he dies in the process. He killed Drag, sorry. And it's another reset. Talash is up again. Can he work his magic? He did it once, and I want to see it happen again because we don't want to see people staying on last forever. Because there can't be any aggression. That sentry will deny every jumpers onto Raptor. So it's really up to Talash to prove again that he's an amazing sniper.
Selentes once again holding down this river very nicely. Thalash does have an angle potentially onto Selentes, who does manage to jump out just in time. Ast playing with fire now as he dips his way in. Thalash got the angle, he's walking forward, but no, he backs off just in time. Could have been pressured by Banny there at the last moment and lost his life. Thalash now rotating over to the river. I want to get eyes on whether or not he can get it, because there is a little bit of a lull in the spam. He's going to charge up a shot, but they can see the cursor of his sniper crosshair, the laser sight, as it's lining up the shot. Selentes peeks forward while the aggression from Drac is sitting at the bottom of the river. He is taking a lot of damage, and Captain jumped in through the balcony while that was all happening.
He forced his Raptor with only one rocket?
What?
I was watching Thalash, but it looked a bit like a pussy pop from Raptor, but again, I may be mistaken because I wasn't really looking at him, but from my understanding, it's kind of questionable. And now Swift is sitting on a Se7en is sitting on a comfortable ad, and they should try to get the sentry down before they push.
Very nice distraction play from Thalash there, but he does get taken down by the traps, the stickies of Ali. And now the Uber has been forced off. They want to push their way in. Thanks to this Uber disadvantage, Raptor gets taken down, and Ali is skimming pipes over the top of the point, trying to connect onto some players there. Banny goes down, and Samsey is alive, able to take down Starkey. And there are actually a lot of weak players on the right side by River, and potentially this could work in their favor. Ali sitting below the point, finally getting pressure, takes down Drac, throwing up pipes, but it can't be enough. Samsey's still in, respawns are up, and Raymond's the only one alive against the cap!
Samsey walked off the point, and he let Raymond die. That reminds me of the same play, including Nox onto Gully Watch class, but that was so... It shouldn't have happened. I mean, maybe he would have died if he had souls, but in the end, what is death when you lose a round?
Very costly mistake. And now, with that win under their belt, Se7en are going to be looking to take over this mid. And once again, Banny jumping in very aggressively, though. Going to be putting a little bit of an adversity, an obstacle in Se7en's way. But Se7en do manage to get a frag onto Samsey at the choke. Captain bombs in, but gets taken down by Ast. And it's a follow from Thalash, who's in the banana. Gets taken down by Selentes. The positioning is in favor of Swift now, as they actually managed to pick off the frags. Nice little air shot from Banny to deny Drac's aggression. Starkey, the last player alive, taken down to 3 HP, cleaned up by Ast, and now can Raymond get out the way? Ali throwing stickies, does block it, and Raymond pops the kill bind. But he has a bad spawn wave. He's not going to be up for another 13 seconds.
Yeah, weird mid, because Samsey dived really early into it, rushing into Se7en's choke, but I guess Swift don't need Samsey to win mids. And now it's another full ad for Raptor on the Swift side. They failed the first push, so maybe they can fail another one. Starkey is sitting on Pyro, Thalash is on NG with a level 3 sentry at the door. So they have means to defend themselves, but maybe knowing from their mistake from the previous push, Swift will take it and make it around.
Push is coming in from a river right now. Swift are primed and ready. They do see the Pyro has gotten into position. Starkey running forward, shoots a little bit of a flare gun there while the spam was happening. Good air blasting, not going to last long enough. Ast takes him down, and the gun is going to go down instantly. Cadis is behind the point right now, going to juggle Ast onto the point. He's throwing stickies left and right, doesn't connect it, but thankfully Captain able to get that frag with his rocket launcher. Rotating around, Cadis doesn't get spotted out, and he's got stickies on the point, but players are rushing in. Cadis hits one pipe and it's over. No, he doesn't. And that's going to be the round. Starkey not able to spawn in time, and Swift barely taking the round before this next one begins.
Yeah, Swift really cautiously took down the sentry before pushing, and then Starkey got a bit aggressive onto River and died quite early as well. So he wasn't there to deny the Uber. I think he forced the Uber with the reflect, but then couldn't defend. And in the end, it got really hard for Se7en to hold this, even though they barely managed it. Banny is getting really aggressive onto Cadis onto choke, but Swift alibi gets Raymond with tickies, and that could be dreadful for Se7en unless they manage to salvage the situation. But now it's Starks who dies from a rocket of Banny, and Se7en is already retreating to last. But how did Raymond die so early to Ali's tickies?
Very good aggression from Swift. Ali grinding those players as they just fed themselves into his stickies. I don't know what Se7en can do with this huge disadvantage right now. They do have Starkey on the Pyro just blindly running through. He hits a nice little flare gun onto Selentes, and the rest of the players on Swift are rotating through the river. They are getting into position. Nice little quick bomb from Selentes trying to get underneath. catch out Drac, but Drac gets the better of it. And with Silentes down, that's going to be one less fragging player. And Cadis is still behind the point, and he kills Ast because he got off the Uber at the very last second while pushing. Now we do see Banny very far forward, gets taken down by Thalash, and it's just
Nice
Ali alive.
from Ali.
Nice little pipe there onto Captain. But will he get followed by Thalash, who's very strong, does manage to get it, and grabs an arrow on the way out.
So yeah, the main reason why they failed this one and not the previous one was they didn't get the sentry before pushing. So that was an obstacle more to take down, and Starkey didn't commit himself into Riverside. So yeah, they really learned their lessons there and hold perfectly. Now something is on Sniper trying to prevent Se7en for using their advantage, and ASTT gets Starkey really early on that maybe could deny the push from Se7en, and it looks like they don't want to go anymore just because they lost Starkey. Or are they? Yeah, Cadis and Captain are going in. The Uber hasn't been used. Yes, Raymond uses now really deep, but Samsy gets Cadis, who jumped into his scope, and now this is looking really grim for Se7en. Banny's just gonna get Raymond out of the fight.
Oh, but Raven, yeah, just gets caught there, running out to the banana. Starkey is alive and could have gone for a drop down, but decides to wrap in through banana. I don't know if Samsy called it out, but Samsy will be seeing it any moment now. Oh! Starkey has walls. He knows when to move. He's moving around these players, and no one knows he's behind. He's getting in position, though. He's working his way at the choke. No one even knows. Go for it. What are you waiting for? Starkey now beelining for the medic. It's going to open the shutter. Spots the sniper. Takes him down with 2 clean shots. The push is coming in from the medic. And now Raptor flashing his players all over there to take down the sentry. But the heavy is back up. The Lash throwing the Natasha into the push. Gonna slow down the players with every bullet, and Ast rotating back and forth, trying to juke Cadis while working his way through Secret. Banny is still alive, gonna be going in right now, gets eyes onto the players, trying to clean up onto Cadis, but Cadis manages to back out in time, and the cap goes off. Swift take the round once again, 2-1 now.
What a last push from ACT. He juked the heavy so well, like it was really weak, and even though he kind of rushed through the heavy, he hid himself properly so he didn't die, and in the end he got a cap. But yeah, really nice. Maybe Starkey shouldn't have been behind, because that means he wasn't on parable on last, and maybe that was what hurt his team.
Cadis now, a very early rollout, gonna get it sticky onto the players rotating through big door, and now they're gonna be wrapping around. Catching up Drac at the choke point is gonna be Ali, trying to clean it up, does manage to pick it off, and now it's gonna be a lot less work because it's a pause. Alright, Ombrack, we have a wonderful opportunity here. We'll be expecting maybe a handful of these potentially at land. Hopefully not, though. This is a very rare opportunity where we get to see everything in freeze frame for just a moment and try and lay out the land. What is going to happen this mid? They just lost Drac, and Se7en is very scattered. And Wiethoofd isn't in much better of a position either.
Well, both captains and Thalash are on the ground, so that will take them some time to climb up. So I think just looking at the health, Aliboy is overhealed while Cadis is pedaling in air with the 130 HP. So just from that, I will say that Swift team will take it. But maybe Raymond will back in time, so he won't die, and I think they will realize early enough that they should leave mid and that they could hold second. I think, but again, when you play, you can't see everything, so you sometimes just rush head up into the trap. Yeah, we haven't had a pause tonight, so you know what is a TF2 evening without pauses. I'm really glad that these gamers can show off everything they have in their arsenal, and thank you, gamers.
Yeah, doing a little bit of work here in this match so far. 2-1 at the 20-minute mark, or a little bit shy of the 20-minute mark. We do have the timer still kind of rolling in the server while this pause is happening. I don't think it's going to have an impact overall on the match time itself. But
no, it won't. It won't.
Very good showing from these last few rounds from both Swift and Se7en, putting the cards on the table.
Yeah, we saw that both of these teams were kind of close to each other. Like one team hits, the other hit back, and it's really fair fight so far. So it's 2-1 for Swift, but it's just like 30 minutes left. So I'm expecting Se7en is able to come back into it.
We do see Ast picking up Captain Flash, who are in that very bad position underneath the point on the floor. And Raptor is going to be getting into position now with Banny, while Salentes is very far aggressive right now inside of the river with the help of Ali, trying to get eyes onto any players that are a little bit too far forward, throwing some stickies and catching players. Ubers are even on both sides. The cap is going off on second. Players are ice skating all around the map, and it's very entertaining to watch in third person. And Salentes jumping in now onto Raptor. Raymond takes it down with the Uber force. 2 rockets, able to cleanly get that, and now Starkey desperately rushing forward through the shutter, not able to get any further than that. And so now full Uber advantage for Raptor. Will Swift beef this push or not?
This is looking really dire for Se7en now. Starkey is back on the Paro, and Talash is building yet another sentry, so they know how to hold, but now they don't have time. It's not a Sylvester sentry, but look at Starkey, he's juking the Uber so well into the main door. He's finally getting killed by Ast, but now it's the sentries who's taking the focus onto Ali. 7 players are respawning, but they can't do much. They're kind of stuck between the doors. Cadis is on his own under. It's kind of a spam battle going on so far. Cadis finally dies to Samzi, who went under, and that's a third round for Swift. Really well executed.
Swift took the third round very convincingly with that last push. Not a single player dropped. And that's a big factor in how strong Swift is as a team. Se7en needs to start stepping it up at this mid-fight, and who do you think is going to be stepping up for Se7en this round?
I think Drac didn't have the best mid so far, so I'm expecting him to be better this time, but he's getting focused down by Ast so far. Nice captain, gets silenced from a solid jewel under the points, but he gets killed in return, and now it's looking again really dire for Se7en. Drac finally gets captured into the fiber.
Banny in the banana just had an insane exchange with all different players. He was juggling Raymond with all 150 as ping, and shortly after he got 3 nice little juked hits with the skill stick onto Cadis. So Banny single-handedly winning that mid, more or less, in the banana by taking down the medic and the demo very late into that mid fight.
Silentus dies, and so does Starkey, so the situation should reset onto the second point, unless Banny wants to bug into the shot, but he doesn't. And now it's gonna be another hold, but this time there's 2 rounds up for Swift, and Se7en have to try something different if they want to come back into this game. They don't like to be behind on the scoreboards, so it's gonna be interesting to see what decisions they will take to make sure they are able to fight their way back to the scoreline.
Yeah, Se7en currently in the hot seat with only about 10 or so minutes left in this match before we go to the second map, which will be Granary. The pause was Falash, who broke his mouse bungee, apparently.
What a noob. Who does that?
Well said.
Never happened to me, so you know, Talash, just give me your spot and be done with it. Well, I'm saying that Cadis is looking over the big door area, but I think it's just to hold and not to push. I don't like it. You have to do something. You're down 2 rounds, so don't die. Drag dies to stick it from Ali, and maybe that's an entry pick for Swift. But being the sneaky players that they are, maybe they just want to wait and beat Se7en at their own game.
Flash on the sniper right now does have an angle on big door where Ast is trying to peek his way in, but if there's one thing after 23 years of TF2, it's you never know what's going to come through that big door.
I think you can know there's a Drac is going to come from that big door all the time.
Always.
And Talash
in a defensive. Ooh.
Sorry,
Swift
go ahead.
Yeah. Drac was very aggressive, trying to get a little bit of an angle here, walking forward with the lash on his tail. Tries to get a shot onto Salentes. Salentes does survive just a moment longer. This will be a nice little initiation from Salentes, damaging up the players, but cannot finish it off because there's stickies defending it from Cadis. And once again, we're in that legendary goalie wash stalemate on second.
Yeah, I don't know if they wait for Talash for. They can't wait for too long. Like, I mean, something gotta happen, but if they want to win this, they have to score 3 rounds. That's a lot, especially versus a team such as Swift, who can actually slow the pace if need be. So I don't know. It feels like Kalash has to go for the hero shot really soon, otherwise it's never gonna happen, and Se7en will slowly die on their second points. Look at him! He's going drop down. He's been caught by Samsi though, and he dies. Looking at Samsi's position, I'm pretty sure they expected him to go this way, so I don't know what went onto Samsi's brain, but that was maybe pure genius. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe it's a 200 IQ play in the future, as Samsi now might get caught out here by the stickies. Does manage to surf away just nicely. Captain still holding the choke point very nicely, keeping eyes on Swift, making sure they don't get their way in at all. Well, it's really hard for Se7en to initiate here, but they look like they're actually want to prep themselves for an Uber push through the choke, but Raymond backs off, so I'm guessing not. But Captain is in a good position to peek forward with that small buff he had, while the rest of Raymond and the players rotate over to the right side, waiting for Thalash to get the snipe off. He does manage to get a little bit of an angle here, but not enough pressure from... Oh, thankfully Drac picks up Ast, who is very low on health, and Raptor very close now, going to be forcing the Zuber off any moment now. Se7en walking forward, manages to pick up Cadis before taking a lot of damage himself and getting taken down by Drac, who is now walking forward. This is a very interesting exchange. They're just peeking around the corner and saying, here, we'll throw this guy at you, and then you throw your guy at us, and then we just exchange frags.
I don't understand. They had 2 frags. They should have traded Uber there because they would have a favorable fight. But they didn't, and now it's another reset. Do they have the time on their HUD? I don't know, because time is ticking, but boys, you have to make something happen.
Flash now opting for a new angle at the choke point, but doesn't manage to connect it. He's going to charge it up a shot once again. No, he decides to rotate back over to the big door with the help of Drac at his side. Can they get a little bit of room here for the Lash just to get this angle, because all eyes are on Se7en to make the play here. Swift can hold this mid for as long as they care for, and it's going to leave Raymond a little antsy to push forward right now, as Captain takes a lot of damage here. Doesn't get taken down though.
Wait, Thalash died again. I don't know. We need someone to explain us what's going on. What's the thought process there? Because we've been on this second point for 6 minutes and nothing happened. Literally nothing happened. I think the most exciting stuff was Thalash dying on drop down, which is saying a lot. So I don't know. Maybe they think they win.
Who knows? Because there it is. Finally start rushing forward with Uber through the choke point. Se7en has to be the initiator. Swift have no reason to do so. And unfortunately that exchange left for no one to get caught out. The stickies juggled players out in their respective corners, and everyone got out alive. But there was a sneaky little player known as Captain who managed to go to drop down, but backed out because Samsi had eyes on it. So once again, we're at exactly the same position we were at before that Uber exchange.
Exciting. Can't wait to see more. One thing though, now they have 20 ad. Maybe they know about it, so maybe they will try to default. Look, Captain just jumped through choke and got Raptor. Really nice play from the soldier. And now this is an entry pick, if I'm not mistaken.
Big Uber advantage now on the side of Raymond and Se7en. But there is a player hiding behind. Salentes does get spotted out. Tries to juggle up Starkey, but that's not going to work at all. You're dealing with the Stark man. And Swift now getting into a defensive position on second with a huge disad. They might even be opting to go to up top. They are. They do have a sniper in Samsi getting eyes on the rock and the rest of the ground floor, but I don't know if anyone else is going to be going that way. They're trying to get their way through here. Ali pops his sticky trap a little too late, doesn't get any frags, and now they're taking control of the shutter and the point. There is a player up top, Banny, getting a lot of damage, but the shot from Samsi comes through. Connects onto Drac, and Drac gets taken down. That's going to slow things down just a moment, but Swift are still at a huge disadvantage. And Salentes is in a nice little spot. Gets spotted out though. Going to get juggled and caught in. This pick is everything they need to get started, but Banny jumps in through the balcony. Gets a little bit of damage onto Raymond, who's healthy enough. 25% left to go before this Uber is ready for Raptor. They're going to be popping right away and going in. Getting onto Samsi. Samsi gets taken down, but not after he takes down Starkey. And he's still alive from the arrow. The arrow is also going to give him enough Uber advantage now. Raptor rushing forward, but the Uber does not connect with Banny though. He is going to connect with his teammate Salentis and Ali, who are going to be trying to catch Ali, or the Lash. The Lash tries to juke his way around, but can't do it. Drek gets air shot on the point by Salentis, but the rest of the players have healed up, and Raymond is pushing forward with the rest of his team. The heals are so strong, but it's just Cadis and the captain on the point. They get taken down, and Raymond is going to clean up right away. Starkey, though, rushing forward. He's going to... Oh, he could have potentially snuck his way around, but instead he's going to be meeting up with Ast on River. Gets him with a nice 2-shot, and then picks up the health pack before rushing back into River. Sees Samzi, but thinks better of it.
I think that's the second time now that Samzi lives for a really long time in heavy. Again, this shouldn't happen. They need to focus targets much better than that. And I think that was kind of a misplay by Raymond, who didn't flash the scout who wasn't either. I think it was Talash for long enough. But now Talash is back in the heavy, so maybe there's an interesting play coming up for Se7en.
You see, Salentis was peeking his way in through River a little bit, trying to get his way through, but did not take the advantage. Sentry now getting built up by Samzi, who just switched off and went to heavy again. They're opting for a heavy for this push because they're expecting a repush or something rather than prepping for a sentry, an engineer. That's not going to happen. Exchanging onto the balcony is Banny and Captain, and he takes an arrow and is going to jump back in. It's actually a desperate attempt from Starkey. He rushes forward. Captain also managed to pick up Banny there, but Ast also picked up on the Captain. Drac rushing in from beneath does manage to get taken down by Samzi before getting any cap time, and now it's the Lash on the Natasha heavy in lobby. Pudis versus Pudis at any moment.
Yeah, they're staying really forward, knowing that the heavy can soak up a lot of damage. And now the Ubers has been used onto Cadis, onto Shutter though. Cadis is going for the force onto Raptor, and now Raymond escaped from last. I expect them to see Se7en repushing really quickly with heavy. Talash gets Banny really quickly into this fight, and Raptor dives to nice aggression from Captain. That could be it for Se7en if they manage to focus the targets and gets the heavy. Finally, Samzi dies, and now all they have to do is take down Halley and get the point. And with the pipe from Cadis, this is a 3-2 for Se7en. They pushed and they won.
I don't know if the server time updated after that pause ended, but we have 45 seconds left on the clock. I'm gonna guess maybe this timer is wrong.
No,
and there's
it's
just
right.
about...
It's unfortunately right, but...
Oh, I was really excited because a minute 30 is all you need to win.
But that just shows that if they had taken initiative a bit earlier when they stalemated for so long in second, maybe they could have taken this home with another round. But maybe they will learn their lesson now and do better on the second map. But we just saw that if Se7en wants to initiate stuff and push, they can actually succeed to do it, while Cadis just pipes everything.
Well, that was a nice pipe from Cadis, and Ast is the last player alive, does manage to come back to the point, but that's the end, of course. Nothing more to it. Se7en did a very nice job taking that last point very slowly and methodically. They wanted to make sure all the frags were in their favor before they stepped onto the point, and that worked for them. But it's too little too late. 40 seconds on the clock, they couldn't win the round.
Pretty strong showing from SVIFT. They were in the lead for a really long time. They showed that they knew how to play aggressive TF2. They knew that they showed how to play... No, they showed that they knew, defensive TF2 as well. So they have quite a broad way of playing the game. It's just interesting to see that, because for LAN they're going to face many different teams, and if they can do everything, then it's a really good edge for them. And on the other side, Se7en maybe realizing a bit late that they had to push, but still playing okay, I guess. They were in control of the game for a very, very long time. So,
Ombrack, I've got a new game for you. Who broke 300 DPM?
No one.
That is also incorrect.
Oh no, Drac, okay.
Not even
close.
No,
Drac, I mean Captain. What am I doing?
Not even Captain. No,
okay, I'm bad.
Once again, Banny breaking the 10,000 damage mark in that match. And Salentis, the only other person to break that 300 DPM mark. Frags are fairly even across the board, though. Really good showing from Ast, who pulled out 25 frags. Banny far behind in 16. And Samzi, of course, at 21. Very good showing from the fragging power of SVIFT. And Se7en, though, had a pretty good amount of damage. Or not enough damage, of course, because, you know, Banny 360, Salentis 300. Really strong stuff from Swift this round.
But in the end, just logs don't say anything. It's really weird to see that they had like, if you see the logs, if you see that much damage, you're like, whoa, that was fast TF2. But then you realize it wasn't. So the power of spam is real on Swift's side, and
yeah, it's exactly how Goalie Watch Second goes. Also really interesting, Banny managed to top in air shots at 5, tying with Se7en.
So basically, Banny and Se7en were the king in these games, in this map.
Absolutely, they were so strong on Soldier, and able to close out that match. Very strong showing from Swift. And do you think Se7en has an advantage in Granary at all?
It's really hard to talk about advantages when this team are so close. I think it gonna come down to mid again. Obviously, mid is such an important part of the game, but I feel like they can have better mids just because they have Draken Captain who knows how to play together so well. But again, Granary is such a slow-paced map. The game we saw between Antic and Lopander doesn't really show how Granary is actually. It's not a fast-paced map. In the past, I would have said that slow-paced TF2 suits Se7en better, because it was true. But now we saw that if they're behind, they're really struggling, because they have trouble speeding up the pace of the game and actually coming back in. So if they can get the early lead, it will be really good for them. But they really don't want Swift to go 1-0 or 2-0, because then it's going to be really hard for them to come back, especially on Granary.
So there's the breakdown of can Se7en take over. Right now, the group stages of the current setup for the group stages, we have a Group A and a Group B for the Insomnia LAN this weekend. And these two teams will not be facing each other in the group stages. One will belong to Group A and the other will belong to Group B. So that can give you kind of an idea of which players might be at the top of their game going into the group stages. But we are talking about a LAN setting at the Insomnia LAN, where no ping issues, no 150 ping Banny, all these things will come together, and the soldiers will really shine when it comes to the hitting those rockets coming into these matches. So hopefully we'll see some kind of interesting upsets outside of the this expected ending to I-61, which will be Se7en versus Swift.
Do you think that the expecting ending? Do you think that these two teams are going to be the one we'll see in grand finals?
I don't know.
Is that your bet?
I want to believe
right
in
now, today, 1 week before LAN?
You know, I mean, everyone's thinking it. I might as well, get on the bandwagon. Se7en and Swift for the grand finals. There it is.
Okay.
But I'm actually interested in seeing like AMS had such a great performance in that last match we saw. Such a great performance earlier in this One Night Cup. I really want to see Antic come through. We didn't get a chance to see Antic versus Se7en, but it did end in a 6-3, which, although it's kind of a big score in a lot of rounds, that's 10 rounds in a 30-minute match, which is pretty intense. Not to mention the map picking process will be more than just a best of one. There could be upsets like Sunshine or Metalworks or Reckoner. Koth Bagel, is that in the rotation?
No, it's not. No, neither are
we're not playing Bagel, thank God. Oh my goodness, not Bagel. Anything but Bagel.
Yeah, no memes, please. So, who do you reckon will pawn on this map? We saw that Banny and Se7en were really good. What's your bet now?
I'm gonna put it on. Se7en, because I'm really biased towards Cadis for some reason. And a demo man on Granary is really important. I mean, obviously, a demo man's important in every match, but Granary especially, because going into this mid-fight, we do see Ali gets the first sticky and cuts off the Lash's entryway. He's going to be slowed down just a little bit. Cadis dropping down to the pack now. Se7en in a good position on the crate, and Raptor, excuse me, has jumped himself onto it, rotating heels over to his players, and Captain gets the first frag onto Se7en though, over in the flank in the garage. Bane's gonna go back to try and initiate onto that, does manage to take it down, but takes a little bit of damage himself. It's Drac on the crate as well, gonna be walking forward, getting eyes on the players flooding out of choke, and SVIFT will not be able to get this mid. They're gonna be backing out.
It's interesting to see that Wiethoofd and Ali have different goals when it comes to mid. Ali was just blocking the catwalk for scouts so they don't come in, while Wiethoofd was just taking up Ali. They didn't really manage to do the same thing. It went for Wiethoofd on this one, mainly because his Drac has had an amazing pressure position onto the ramp. Yeah, they come to mid with different intentions.
Well put. Right here though, we do see SVIFT holding very patiently. Banny is a little bit far forward though. He wants to go forward with this. He's got Raptor on his tail. Wants to peek his way through the shutter and try and catch out Wiethoofd, but Wiethoofd has stickies all over that, and I don't know what SVIFT are hoping to accomplish by putting their players so far forward at the spam points. Right now over in the lunchbox, we do see some aggression from the soldiers and the scouts exchanging pleasantries with rockets and bullets, and nothing's coming of it.
Yeah, Ali is just looking the right door. He doesn't want Se7en to come into the lunchbox, and Captain doesn't care about lunchbox. He's just going straight across the bound, getting the trade with his medic and jumping back. Now is the time for his team to recommit while everyone in SVIFT is looking for Captain. Captain is bugging people on last, and now maybe Starkey and Wiethoofd should walk forward. But Captain is dead, and now it's a bit late. They maybe should have be a bit more quick about it, because now they're one down and they can't really do anything out of it.
Oh, nice little choke on to Wiethoofd, but can't clean it up because he's so afraid of those stickies right above the shutter. Banny couldn't finish the job, and as a result, Wiethoofd will be able to stay alive for just a moment longer. We're seeing another flashback. I'm having PTSD of Goalie second trying to push their way in because nothing is happening. The players are holding onto it very nicely. Although I would be very interested in a reverse drop-down play, because currently the position of Se7en doesn't allow him to see it.
But Drac and Captain just went straight forward into the ramp and just got knee in a blink of an eye, and now it's an entry peak for Se7en. But now Banny has come to the upper side of the point and just looking at the door, spamming rockets. But Ubers have been traded once again onto the point, with Captain once again going behind the backlines. And maybe this time Se7en will actually try to go through the second point, but Captain dies. So does Raptor to Phalanx. Really nice play by the scouts. Starkey cleans up as well. What a clean up play by the scouts. And that could be a round if they manage to take down Se7en, who's the only one alive for SVIFT.
You see now Starkey working his way onto Se7en. He just needs to make his way to the point, draw him closer while the stickies come in and clean it up, but no, Starkey will get that instead. Banny jumps in, but is a little bit late, and that's going to be the cap for Se7en, taking an early lead in the first few minutes of this match.
That was such a nice play from both the soldiers and the scouts from Se7en. Drac and Captain went to the backline causing havoc, and then Starkey and Phalanx just had to put a crosshair onto the enemy team and just get frags easy. And we said it, Se7en likes to be in the lead, and now they are. It's going to be interesting to see if that switches their game plan.
Ali is sitting on the crates with his teammate Se7en as they are working their way over to the catwalk, trying to keep the lash from entering. He does manage to make his way through, and Se7en tries to initiate on the crate. Big bomb from Se7en as well as Banny, but Se7en gets taken down as a result. Ast does pick up Wiethoofd though, and with no demo man on the side of Se7en, it's going to be very hard for them to keep the damage up. And SVIFT just cleans house all across the map, getting one frag within a second of each other. Very nice job of SVIFT coming back in this mid-fight, wiping the enemy team and only losing Se7en in the process.
Yeah, really interesting way that they just stood on top of the crates, get on the upper ground and just spammed everyone. I don't really see what Drac did, but I felt like he had like he didn't really put any pressure on anyone, and now Ali is going to lead the Uber with Raptor onto the right side. They're in, and he's getting down by Starkey with a nice headshot onto the demo man, and that could be it for SVIFT with the sentry gun as well. Se7en dies to Captain, and if SVIFT doesn't go back now, this should be a really savage for them.
Very great snipe from Starkey there, showing his strength right now. Raptor is going to get cut off in the shutter, and if Wiethoofd can rush forward, he could potentially get out of there, catch him out, but no, instead it's going to be a little bit too late. Ali now just respawning, not going to be able to hold forward though, but Se7en want to play very cautiously. They don't know what around them. Banny is going to get caught out here potentially. No, he does manage to jump away in time. Uber is in favor of Se7en, and Se7en will be working their way forward now through the choke point, as we do see Captain getting buffed up, jumps up top, spots out any players, gets a nice little rocket onto Ast, who is going to be backing up to the garage, going to get caught off by another rocket there, and a jump up from Captain is going to actually get himself killed as he falls to his death. Following up is Se7en, very low on health in the choke point, going to be backing up with a nice arrow, saving his life, and the cap is going to Se7en, but at what cost?
They don't have the Uber ad anymore because they tried to go into mid without using, and they knew they couldn't get to Raptor, so now they're gonna reset onto mid. And it's now up to Swift to break the stalemate. They don't have any up classes, Cookie cut the lineup, and it's gonna be hard for them to make something happen unless Samzi can get some room going onto the ramp, but he finally falls back, and it's now up to Bunny to get some spam going, but besides spam, there's not much they can do at the moment, so... And I don't see Se7en making a mistake right now. They know they're in the lead, and Cadus is using the loose cannon, sorry, not double dunk, this is not a weapon, to push away any jumpers that could try to go for the medic, and Swift needs to make something happen, needs the magic going on.
Players are just kind of sitting around waiting for an opportunity to go for it. Don't know who on the side of Se7en is the initiator. I believe it's Drac is the roamer, right?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's a roaming soldier, but this is Granary. It's gonna be really hard for him to make anything happen. But looks like the heals are rotating on the right. Maybe Cadus wants to do something with the Ubers, trying to see if anyone is out of position, but of course they're not. And I wonder how long Swift will want to wait on this situation.
Se7en is very aggressive now on the right side by the garage. Try to get a little bit of Sam there. Does have an opportunity here to work someone into the garage, potentially with a buff, and then peek their way. But now we do see a rotation from Se7en all the way on the right side, coming in through the choke, but a lot of spam is also initiating onto them. And oh no, Starkey gets caught and juggled by Banny, who will also be able to pick up onto Thalash with the help of Ali. And with 2 frags, both scouts down, it's going to be very easy pickings for winning a mid-fight exchange. Se7en works his way forward, gets past Drac, doesn't make it to the pack though, and Drac is able to get that frag right away. The Uber exchange was happening at the intersection in the lanes of the midpoint, and no, Captain is going to get taken down by Ast, who's rushing forward. Going to be...
Oh, Drac! He was
does
aiming
manage
at
to get
Raptor, it got
great
Ast in the
rocket.
process. Really nice clean-up play from the roaming soldier, and that should be it for Se7en. Yeah, they're taking control of mid, and they should go forward. I'm gonna say anyway that the play they had, the Se7en had with Starkey and Thalash going forward was kind of questionable because they were in the lead, and that's the point where they didn't have to do anything, and that's when they decided to do something. Again, I don't really understand the thought process there. There should be something, maybe baiting Swift into a bad push, which actually happened, but yeah, I'm asking myself questions there.
Now Swift are on the defensive against this full Uber ad coming out of Captain, who's rushing forward to get the frag onto Samzi, but they don't have any positioning whatsoever to work with, and as a result, they just used the Uber to take second, which they were trying to prevent a back cap from, or rather an aggressive retake from Swift. Now Se7en is holding on to this point for just a moment longer, but the Uber is ready for Swift, and they just need to work their way in. Ali has gotten his ammo back from the forward spawn, or from the spawn, and Banny's working his way now in through upper on top. No stickies called out yet. Going to be working their way to the point. Banny does spot it out. He jumps in, gets taken down. Cadus grabs Ast, actually. Banny does take the Uber, though, and is coming forward. Just needs to hit one more rocket onto Raymond. Raymond, you can't dodge 150 ping rockets. Come on. But we do see now Captain gets taken down as he jumps around. Cadus throwing some pipes into the lobby, but it's not going to work. The point is in total control of...
Alec! What's the key to frags? What was that magic? Oh, that was so well played from the Swedish Demoman. He actually saved his team there, because if he had died, that would have been a round for Se7en. I wonder why Raymond was so close off the door when the Uber was used, because kind of a mispositioning there from the medic. But in the end, it's not too bad thanks to the guy who killed Raptor. I don't know who he was, and it should be another reset, but Se7en lost some ground there, and looks like they're gonna wait a bit more, maybe a bit longer this time. It's not up to them to make anything happen. It's up to Ali, who's getting really aggressive onto the ramp. Finally falls back, and the Uber ad is in the hands of Raymond right now.
Raymond now buffing up his players, working his way to the garage door entrance. There are no sticky traps except above the garage, and only 2 stickies. That's not going to do anything. They're going to be hopping in through the patio, getting in. Banny's going to be rotating in, does spot out Cadis, knocks him into the air and gets cleaned up by Ast, who also gets picked off by Captain, having a great solo Uber, practically solo Uber. Banny is hiding in Z right now. He's going to be rotating around, going a long way, as he actually sneaks past the Lash and gets onto Raymond. Does connect it because the Lash was so busy looking at the choke, waiting for Samzy, who he does manage to finally pick up on thanks to the help of Starkey. They do get the cap and now working their way to the last point. Ast is respawning, does spot out the Soldier Captain, but the players are on the point, and then Rocket's going to clean that up, and Se7en take their second round of this Granary match.
Another good Uber from Se7en. Their Uber have been really good on this map on Granary. They got cap Raptor pretty much every time, so it's what you want to happen. And now they're 2-0 in the lead. We said it, they like to be in the lead. Now they're 2 rounds up, and they are quite happy with that. I wouldn't be surprised to see them sit on the point they have forever. And we can see now Kato is going into mid from lower ground, while Ali is on top of the crate, and they are trading stickies. Both cars are taking the high ground as well. Everyone from Swift is on top, but a big bomb from Drac is coming in. Ali feels really weak, and Ast is the first one to die. And then Vanny from a knife from Cadus. Se7en as well. Swift now has to retreat if they don't want to all die. But people are weak on the Se7en side, and maybe that should be enough for a fight to go on Swift side. But no, it's only Ali and Raptor now, and they're living as fast as they can to the last.
Raptor now with his teammate Ali gonna be sticking up the point, trying to slow things down for Se7en, but Se7en are at full force right now. Gonna retake this point. Ali actually coming in, not gonna let them take this point at all. He's gonna be throwing stickies and pipes all the way at the shutter. Captain now very close to the point, trying to get a little bit of chip shot. Drac gets taken down in the lunchbox from Se7en, and that's gonna be all the initiation they need to hold on to the second point at least, which will be very good because now they're rushing into the lunchbox. Gonna be getting Banny on top of Starkey, who gets cleaned up by Ast. He's now rushing over to the garage. They do spot the players backing out of the choke, and there are no players behind. They need to go full force and potentially take this midpoint if they can get some initiation. There are stickies all over the catwalk. They're going to be opting to go through the garage and wrapping around the lane. We do see...
Look at Se7en, he's going in the backline. Oh, it's Raymond dropped to
And so did Raymond, they both dropped!
What was that? I thought Raymond got dropped from Annie and somehow didn't use the Uber. I think he got busted in a second, and when Raymond drops, Se7en doesn't care and just wins fights. Starkey cleans up Ali and gonna rush straight to second point. What happened there? That was so weird.
The sticky killed Raymond, if I'm mistaken, right? Hold on. Cadus killed Raptor with the sticky, and then the bomb from Banny killed Raymond. So they just both dropped at the same time.
Yeah, that's not the thing you see every day. Starkey couldn't get second because the Swift had respawners who could contest at the point in time. So now it's going to be another reset outside of Swift second, and it looks like Se7en really has a good grip onto the map. They haven't been on the back foot a long time. They just been pressuring Swift for the whole game, and it's really working out for them so far. Look at both the soldiers just spamming into doors, trying to get chip damage before getting an entry pick, and Cadus is holding the right door back onto the regular pipe launcher. And now are they going to wait, because again they're 2-0 in the lead, it's 15 minutes left, and it's going to be really hard for them to have a clean push on this.
Swift are getting their players position. Se7en is over the lunchbox, does spot out the rocket coming in from Captain, who's working his way towards the lunchbox area, but decides better of it. Banny getting a lot of damage now, gonna get cleaned up by Cadus at the shutter. Once again, like I mentioned earlier, he was playing very dangerously, holding that close to the shutter, and as a result, he does get taken down. Now, Se7en have an entry frag to work their way to the point, but Se7en is in a very interesting position in the lunchbox. Comes in at a very bad time because the Ura is exchanging on the point, and he's not going to meet up with any players. We do see the players backing out now, repushing with heals potentially here is Cadus as walk forward. It's Captain who drops down from up top, connects with the help of Cadus to get down to Ast, and Ali is so low, he finally, he's so close to getting down, but he doesn't, and a follow-up rocket does connect. Ooh, Drac doesn't get it, and he gets cleaned up by Samzy there. But the cap still goes in their favor, and Thalash is on last, rotating over. He does see Se7en on top of it, and Ali is so low on health, he's just throwing stickies desperately. It doesn't work out. Starkey cleans that up, and Ast on the respawn comes in, gets sawed by Raymond, and the cap goes to Se7en. in this 15 minutes left to go.
Every time Se7en has a one-man advantage, they use that pick to be aggressive. I really like it. It's really different from what they did on Wash, and I don't know if something changed in their minds. But now every time they can trade an Uber when Swift is one down, they just do it because they know they will have the advantage when the Uber fades. And yeah, another really good fight from Cadus and his teams.
At this mid-fight, we do see Sam's taking a very aggressive approach with the help of Banny to get onto the crates.
Silentes, what an amazing moment to Raymond. Was like up in the air like a plane, and just bombed onto Raymond. That was really impressive to watch. And now Starkey and Captain have 55 health combined. But Captain doesn't care. He gets Banny, and now it's gonna be Starkey versus Silentes. Both are kind of weak.
But Starkey is just now getting back into the fray as Silentes has the high ground. But we all know what that means in a 1v1 if someone has the high ground. Silentes is getting pushed off now. Starkey trying to work his way in. He's juking himself around. Silentes gets to the pack in time, jumps around, and meets up with Cadus, but doesn't connect any more than that. Just a nice fat rocket, while the rest of Swift have just now gotten into their own choke point. But with that death, they have to back off.
What a really extended mid. Lasted for quite a while, but now Raymond sits on a small advantage. I don't think they will want to use it. I don't even know if they're aware of it, because in the end they both died at the same time. But in the end, I guess Raymond was building a bit better than Raptor. Silentes is on Spy. Maybe he will have to make some trick stab happen if he wants his team to come back into it. It's 3-0 to 7, and Silentes is gonna make his way to the middle.
We do have Silentes going further. He is a spy, picked up the ammo pack. I don't know if players are going to notice that. He is trying to get into position onto Raymond, who is got his back turned as he's desperately healing every single player, and he gets caught out. The Lash rotates around, cleans him up, and now with that pick, Ali might even get caught out here in the garage, but no, thankfully no one was there to cut him off, and Ali will get out just fine. But they're still playing really slow. They don't want to push this. They have 3-0. They're going to park it, I think.
This is Se7en as we know it, maybe. But yeah, like when you think about it, they don't have to do anything. I said it before, but they didn't listen to me for good reason, because they won rounds. But now they're 3 up in the leads, and they're in mid, so they have the high ground. It's gonna be really hard for Swift if they want to commit to it. Banny doesn't listen to me apparently, because he just wants to go aggressive onto the ramp, but no one is with him so far. Raptor eventually follows him, and it looks like Banny wants to get the Uber in. He doesn't have many ammo, I assume, because he's going back. But Se7en is holding as close as they can without coming into the ramp, and they are pulling Swift out of it. Ali dives to rocket from Captain. That's really not want to happen to you when you're down 3-0.
Pop does come off and exchanges into the garage. Banny rocking forward now, going to cut off Raymond potentially here, as Raymond is so far out. His Uber finally does pass, and he gets taken down. The follow-up from Cadus, though, is going to be spamming through this garage. Does manage to connect onto Ast and take him down. Starkey over here on the left side does, sorry, the Lash, not Starkey. Starkey's at mid, just now making his way to the point. He does spot out the players, but Ali grabbed 2 picks onto Cadus and Drek, and that's going to slow things down. But it is still Starkey in behind. He's going to be coming in from the up top. He does hear the demo man. Ali does sniff him out. He does come in. 1 instant me shot, 2 shots onto Samzy, and he gets the cap started. Waiting for his teammate, the Lash, coming in now. They do spot out Ast with the heals. He's going to be backing off, though. They can't fight this quite yet. Banny will be able to rotate in and get some damage off, though.
What a play from Starkey, just showing his magic. 2 shots into Samzy was really, really amazing. And now Ubers are the same, but there's no Ali on point, so maybe Cadus can bully everything out of the point. That's what he's trying to do. Ast dies, but Banny with a nice clean rocket just gets Captain and Cadus at the same time, and that should be it for Swift. Samzy gets Raymond, and this is looking really dire for Se7en.
We do have Drak now currently working his way to the point onto Banny, who is very low on health, but Drak beefs the last rocket, and Banny walks away with 8 HP and a 5th kill to his repertoire as Ali sets up a trap at choke. And I don't think Se7en's going to be getting any further than the yard. They're backing up to second. They do not want to fight this.
Well, if Raptor is running crits, so I don't know if they're aware of that, but if they can lure Swift onto the second point, really small second point, maybe they could get a bait of really bad crits and then come back to fight. It's gonna maybe. I assume Raptor will want to go left side, far left with crits and maybe get someone else, but it looks like he's going with Bunny and his 160 cream onto the Z, gets 1 rocket, 2 rockets, but no one dies to the crits, and with that final arrow onto Cadus, every damage has been nullified by the English medic.
The Uber is ready for Raymond as he is walking over to his players. He does get forced off, but his players are getting very low. Captain and Drac will be able to pick up 2 key frags onto the players, and Drac actually hits a nice little air shot onto Silentes. Silentes will go down there. Samsey over in the lunchbox getting chased down in the yard by Starkey, who does take a little bit of a meat shot. Ooh, very low on health. He's going to be able to get picked off by Cadus, though, thankfully. And it's just Ast and Raptor on the crates at mid.
Kind of a questionable crits, if I may say so. I think they knew that they were close to the door, and just closing the door would not permit the crits to go further. But as I said, at 7 he's trying to be really aggressive on mid, but Captain is getting countered by Ast, and Starkey dies to a sticky trap from Ali, and now they're gonna have to retreat. But Cadus, sticky trap onto Raptor, and Ali drops the medic and gets Bunny in the process. Oh, what was that? Because Raymond died on the flank, killed by Silentes. Nice salvation for Silentes, but what a play from Cadus, just saving his team for like 2 seconds.
Yeah, but it's going to be very desperate for them to win this round because they do manage to cap second, and very small advantage, about 25%. Going to be good enough for 1 push if they can build fast enough. They could push in before poor Raymond gets his Uber in time. And they're going to have to be dealing really hard just to prevent this disadvantage from being too steep. Right now, Swift getting in position. Will they be going from up top, or do you think they want to go for a lower yard push?
They probably will go from top, where if they are the. I wonder how many times Raptor has dropped on this map. I think at least 3 times, but I may be mistaken. But yeah, this one was sticky trap though, so maybe less his fault than the other. Silentes is peeking on the right side, trying to get some rocket onto Silentes, but to no avail. The Uzbar has been used. Look at Ali, he's going super deep and gets Raymond at the spawn door. That could be it for Swift if they manage to get the cleanup frags. Samsey gets Captain and gets Cadus as well. And even though Drac is doing his best with a nice headshot onto Silentes, that's not enough. And 1 round for Swift, they're trying to make the comeback happen.
Could happen. There is 6 minutes left on the clock, and that's more than enough time to get 2 rounds, even 3 rounds in this upcoming mid. I wanted to be looking at Ali because that last bomb he did take down Raymond was crucial, because Raymond almost would have gotten out and then rotated over to the other side to get some heals off, get that Uber in time. Ali now going to the mid fight is going to be going slower and through the garage, trying to go through choke, get eyes on the players. He does spot out Cadus above him, but Cadus comes in, cuts off the garage, doesn't even do anything though as a result, and now the big bomb from Silentes is going to cut off the choke, but he gets taken down. Cadus kills himself to his own pipe, and the Lash will be able to pick up 2 frags, 2 very key frags there. Silentes does manage to pick up onto Drac though, and now rotating over to the right side, he does take an arrow, but is getting juggled a little bit. Captain, they're just patiently waiting. Captain bombing in now, connects onto Ast and taken down. Follows up immediately onto Raptor, who juggles himself in the air. The Lash picking up Raptor, and will the Lash get the final kill? He does, but not before Silentes picks up onto Raymond. Ali is still alive though, and doing a lot of work here. It is just the Lash alive, and the pipes are flinging left and right. Cannot connect it though, and that will be the mid to Swift.
That was quite funny because when Cadus went aggressive on the left side on the crate, I don't think he saw that Ali was just underneath him. He just didn't care. He had like tunnel vision. I wanna block the. But now Raptor has a 30% even pad, and there's like 5 minutes remaining. So I think he's gonna be aggressive, trying to drive the second without the. Bunny is going on Drac, but it high by Captain. Really nice vision. Ooh, Captain with a nice to Raptor against the flag at the cost of his life. That should slow down the Swift offensive.
Yeah, Swift no heals gonna make it really tough. They do have no soldiers up and Natasha heavy though, as well as Cadus's trap picking up Banny. That's gonna be the end of Swift's potential slow push, dry push very last though. That is a huge mistake in every circumstance to try and push without an Uber or without a demo advantage.
And Raymond has the Uber. It's interesting, Se7en being aggressive on top. they try to make use of that Uber ad, but with Captain being cleaned up really early, I'm pretty sure this is gonna mean the end of that push. And now they're just gonna wait for Swift to initiate some. She's going on engineer, confirming what he's gonna build that level 3 sentry. But no, the sentry gun police is relentless, taking down the gun as it's being built. And Danny dies. Is that bad? It shouldn't be bad for now because wait for the Uber anyway.
The defense is really strong right now on the side of Se7en. So they have Kit inside, sticking up and throwing pipes over the top. Se7en's close here. Gonna connect on the Captain. Desperately, but gets cleaned up by Drac, who's sitting on the opposite pipe. But Samzy, but a rush forward while a cracked Cadis was back up, and he gets cleaned up. With no Cadis around, Swift had a very easy opportunity to re-push with Uber. No demo up, but it's already the respawn happening. They have 2 numbers, 2 for 1 on the demo that's enough to push with.
This is gonna be another hold. I'm surprised to see no Swift drug diet alibi. With Bunny still dead, it doesn't really matter. And yeah, I'm surprised no sniper from Samzy or asked. It's gonna be hard for them to break the stun. I mean, Thalash, look, Thalash is at the spot we saw. Uber has been used by what I was babbling about, something completely different. And next to a stick from Cadis, so that should now the reset. Unless they want to just, but with that, oh man, this is gonna be tricky.
That it will be. Now we do once again. Thalash actually getting onto the very opposition. The pipeline at the very end of the map with the Natasha is so hard to push. Slows down players, everyone should know from the Natasha. Very hard to get a kill, but it is sniper bait, potentially, but we don't have a sniper on the side of Swift. They're just going to be it. They do spot out the heavy and start working their way towards the right. Getting in very deep, going to be able to pick up on the Starkey right away, but Se7en gets up by Captain. And that frag for 1 exchange is going to make it harder for the rest of Swift to come in. Cadis is going to get juggled by Banny there, who gets down by Thalash, who has now rotated his attention onto Ack, who does manage to meet up with Captain before exchanging there. It is just Ali and Swift Raptor as they make their way up top, and Raptor needs to start making their way out as soon as possible. Ali goes in deep, tries to connect on Raptor, but can't even hit 1 pipe. Finally does manage to go down, and I don't know. It's not enough time left to repush, I don't think.
Yeah, that should be it for 1 minute 45 seconds. Samzy with a headshot to cases, but this off-clash looks like it's a bit late for Swift. They said it won't happen. They won't take this map to a tie, and they're pushing anyway for log glory. But Ubers has been used by Raymond and onto Captain, and the Dutch soldier clean up the frag while Starkey is Raptor once again.
Push is coming in now, and Cadis obviously as he hits a pipe. Soldier goes airborne, and the soldiers try and go for the air shots, but doesn't connect. It's a full pipe. That was the last ditch effort of Swift before they lose this round, and Se7en gonna reclaim map in just about a minute. They actually might go for a 4th round potentially in this match as they work their way to mid. They're gonna be getting onto the cap right now. They do spot Se7en, who's over at the choke. Thalash calling him out, gets juggled though, and takes a lot of damage. Gonna get very low. Samzy comes out on it, follows it up, but the arrow was very strong and keeps alive. And the fallout bomb from Banny is gonna be able to take out very nicely. And Swift, Ali is going to be getting 2 frags on the Drac and Starkey as he works his way over to the garage and way to the yard. It's a re-push. Can they push 2nd round and even up matches 3-2 to 3-2?
30 seconds left, nothing will happen. Raptor is dead again, so is Raymond. So yeah, maybe we should just go into the... this is 1 map each. This one's been kind of well played from Se7en, I'd say. After their performance onto Gullywash, I didn't expect them to react that well. And it's gonna be interesting to see what they can do. Raptor died on Paru. Yeah, take that kid.
That'll be it. 3-1. A great showing from Se7en to take Granary back and stay on top. They had a 3-0 lead the entire match, so it was or not the entire match, of course, but to take a 3-0 lead, it's very hard for Swift to come back because they couldn't even have any mid-fights go their way or second or last pushes. Se7en was in the driver's seat most of that game, is what I felt.
Yeah, they really were in control of the game. We saw them a lot around Swift's second point, just talking, like deciding how they will push. They were barely on their back foot. And even when they were on last, it looks like they really had it under control. Like the Ubers from Raptor were kind of poor because, not blaming him in particular, but the Uber from Swift were not really good. Often used early, and Raymond didn't have to use when they were on their last. So, yeah, really great composure from Se7en.
So, the stat line is very interesting depending on which log you look at or which drop-down menu you organize it by. When you organize it by damage, it's pretty even down the line. Banny at the top with 322 DPM, followed by Captain at 311. But then when you switch over to the frags tab and organize it by most frags, Banny ties with Cadis, and Cadis bottom frags for his team, and then everyone on the side of Se7en was out fragging all of Swift. It was an insane shutout in frags overall.
So Banny had as many frags as the least fragger
worst player on their team.
Oh,
Cadis.
okay. This isn't the stat you want. Yeah, I guess better. You said they had the same amount of damage, so yeah, best focus target from Se7en. I feel like it goes down a lot to the Uber trades we saw, where someone was dead on Swift, Cadus led with the charge and Captain, and when the Uber fade, they had way better fights. So I think it comes down to that, because they only had to clean up the frags after that, and that should be maybe that's what made the difference there.
Potentially. We're going to be going now to our third map in this best of 3 grand finals for the Essentials.TF One Night Cup. I'm Moreau, that was Ombrack you just heard, and Wiethoofd on the production, and all the other good things to come. Before we continue with this next map, Badlands, I just want to mention once again and remind everyone that after this grand finals is over, we will be revealing the group stages for the Insomnia LAN happening this weekend, Friday. And the group stages will be featuring these two teams on them, Se7en and Swift, but they won't be in the same group. And one other thing I want to bring up is there is a potential for a fantasy league for this Insomnia LAN series. So start getting your predictions in now. Think about who you want, maybe, for a team in a fantasy league going into this LAN. And you already know Banny is a very high tier pick if he can top damage every single match and not have LAN ping. So you know he's going to be doing good on LAN.
Yeah, that should be a good pick if you want to win this fantasy league. Going back to Badlands, God, I wasn't looking forward to this one, to be honest. I thought but maybe it all makes sense in the end. I mean, we started with Badlands, so why not finishing with Badlands? This is when we think TF2, we think Badlands, so maybe it all makes sense in the end.
So now we're here at Badlands, as my friend Marxus calls it, the primordial soup of TF2. This is where it all begins. Badlands, the ancient map. We've already talked about it a little bit earlier in this cast for the One Night Cup. But Badlands, this is not Pro Lands for all you Europeans out there who are very familiar with the Pro Lands setup. We're just on normal, good old Badlands with very hard to push out of last. And the same mids, though. So a lot of exciting stuff happening here because we've got two very strong and adept sticky jumpers in Ali, legendary jumper, and Cadis, legendary for all of his Cadis jumps back in 2012, 2013, 14. Really strong showing from him, and the name he made for himself and his ability to bomb medics and sticky jump in midair, and it was legendary at the time, and now it's just common knowledge for demos to do that.
We've come a long way.
We've come so far. There is no no shotgun roamer anymore. We've evolved.
I don't know if we evolved for the good though, because we evolved to really Stormy game. But yeah, that's what we have to do with now. And so yeah, we've seen the 3 maps we've seen so far. It's pretty standard. I mean, Gillywash, Badlands, Guanabri. That's pretty much the bread and butter of TF2. Gilly was pretty heavily favored into Swift's end, in my opinion, and Granary was pretty much the other way around. So how do you reckon Badlands will go? I mean, all these two teams, they know how to play this map so well. If there's one map where there won't be any mistakes, in my opinion, this will be this one. So what do you think will be the decisive factor there?
The decisive factor in this map, I think, will... I can't really say the soldiers again, because I already said that for that first Badlands match we covered today. I think it's going to be... I can't even tell you. I really don't know. These teams have shown so much strength on their respective maps, Goalie and Granary, very ancient staples of the TF2 community. I really don't know where the scale will tip as far as Badlands goes, because all these players have shown a lot of strength here. But ultimately, it comes down to Swift, because if you look at the stat line for that previous match, it wasn't as close. Yeah, it was a 3-1, but it wasn't as close. It was so much better on the side of frags for Se7en. And it's really going to come down to if Swift can not have that game again, if they can have a better game this time around.
I think it will go to Se7en. I think winning the previous map is really a huge boost for them, because when you're Swift, you realize that you really haven't had anything to say about Granary. I mean, you lost quite convincingly, and it's going to be really hard to keep composure. I think not really hard, but it's going to be one challenge for Swift about this. So it's going to be again interesting. While Cadus hits nice pipes into the it's Salash. Yeah, don't mind me. So yeah, it should be another one. Once again, really stalemate because the map works this way. And compared to what we saw in the first game, we're not going to see teams trying to push out of Spire in really complicated situations. They'd rather sit on their last and not risking losing a round, especially when it's Se7en. I don't really know how Swift plays the map, like if they go a bit more aggressive when it comes to last, whether they hold it or they push it. So I wonder what is in Banny's mind right now. I wonder if Raptor will be able to step up, because I feel like he wasn't really shining on Granary. He dropped 2 times. Once was Sticky Trap. Beside drops, I felt like he wasn't on point, one might say. Neither he wasn't on Goalie either, though. So yeah, Raptor doesn't have the best night of his life. So he might want to step it up a bit to put his team in a good position. And one thing worth noticing as well is that we haven't seen that many off-classes from Swift. Samzy went Sniper quite a few times, but really scarcely, and Silentus went Spy but once on the course of the 2 maps. So maybe that will, if as I think we'd see a lot of stalemates. I wonder if we pull up the off classes. I think they need that to break the stalemates. I think they need some pretty nice shot on Sniper. And I don't know if some people remind, but I think it was a rewind where EVL played versus Se7en. It was a really, really, really slow game, and I think EVL sat on mid for like forever and couldn't break the Se7en safe. So I think they will need some sniper action from Samzy. Maybe some crits from Raptor. We saw him trying crits. It didn't work quite well, but maybe some crits as well. I don't know. I want to see some crazy stuff from Swift because they look like a really strong and DME team. But I want to see if they have some kind of crazy aspect to their game as well.
Yeah, the problem that we've experienced with these last 2 maps, unfortunately, is exactly what you mentioned, the stalemate factor. It's really hard to push into second, or it's really hard to push out of second, or it's hard to push out of last sometimes. But that's the only thing that's true about all those maps, and compared to Badlands, is pushing out of last is going to be difficult. But there's going to be a lot of interesting tactics for at least pushing. It's not so much of an issue of pushing in this map when it comes to a stalemate. It's just really hard for players to recuperate from the enemy team failed their push, and now we have to push out of last and get on Spire. It's a little bit harder to do that. But there are options for pushing last, baiting the point, using those off classes to stay alive or get a bunch of frags, or all these different things are going to come into effect. And I think the biggest one is going to be sniper. And hopefully we can see some of that action at the wild card moments, like, oh, we just wiped that mid, and one of our scouts died early. Starkey died, and now he's coming up. He's on sniper. He goes to bats and gets a headshot onto Raptor. Like, that would be insanely well-timed sniping action instead of the typical we're stalemating, and now we have to use a sniper.
Yeah, because we have many able snipers on the server. I mean, Starkey, Thalash, Ast, Samzi. All these kids, they can hit with a sniper rifle, so if we need some magic, they can bring it to us, and I think at some point they will have to. Thalash did it a bit on Gillywash. He got Raptor quite early on, if you remember, with a nice headshot, so I think that's what we'll need for if you want some fast-paced TF2, because it's getting late and we want to see stuff happen. We don't want to just see people sitting on us forever.
That we don't. Players are now all in together. We have 3 demos on the side of red, but that will change shortly. All the players are on the server. We're just waiting for them to ready up, get on their respective classes. This is going to be an interesting mid. I mentioned this earlier when we were talking about it in the previous match that had Badlands. But this is properly the highest level of T2 that we know of at this moment, because it's the end of the grand finals of this cup. What is going to be the determining factor in this? Because we have 2 great demos, we have 4 great soldiers, all these scouts. What is going to be the big factor in these mids?
I think Ale is better on mid than Kadis is, but I think that Drac and Silent and Captain are better soldiers on mid than Danny and Silentis. So it's, I don't know, the quality are kind of balanced, and but I know Ale is really good on mid, especially on Badlands. He can get so much damage onto Kadis, because Kadis is not a DM heavy demo when it comes to mid. He likes to get control of the area, but he doesn't usually lands a lot of damage when it comes to mid. Ali does. Ali denoys area, and I think he can get early damages onto the scout really well, so I think he has the edge on that. And if Cadus isn't able to be up to the task of challenging Ali on mid, then no matter how Drac and Captain will be, the damage will be done. So remember that these 2 teams, we've talked about group stages before, we're going to do it again. They're not going to face each other in the group stage of I-61. The earlier we can see them will be on the brackets, so they're not going to face each other. So it's going to be interesting to see how the old time where they're going to face each other is going to be like brackets where they get eliminated maybe if they lose. And this is the best of 3.
We wouldn't want that to happen.
Yeah, and this is like pretty much exactly how we will be at LAN. This is exactly the same situation, so it's not LAN yet.
Not entirely true. There could be a comeback from, A girl till I die. That could happen, right? They could win.
Okay, this is the realistic situation of what could happen.
This is the expected result, but this is not the guaranteed result. We've got a lot of good teams going into this matchup in the Insomnia LAN this weekend. I'm really excited to see what AMS can bring to the table with his team. Also, Lopander. They had a really good coordination against Antic, but just fell short of being it. And Antic had a very good matchup, and they also technically beat Se7en earlier on in the ETF2L season under the other name Arctic Foxes, if I'm not mistaken. So this is the expected result, but this is not the guaranteed result. I'm very excited to see what the teams have to offer at this LAN coming up this week.
But if we want to preview, we need these gamers to start the game. And they're not doing it right now. And I want to see some TF2 action. I want to see Raptor drops to a spy. So please, make it happen.
So Ombrack, we're at the final stage. We've seen these teams before. I know where you stand with 7. You think you're gonna take it down, but what do you think the score is gonna be? Where are you at?
2-0. 2-0 for 7. Yeah.
Oh.
I know I want a fast-paced game, but I don't think this will be.
Yeah, you think Badlands gonna be, of all the 3 maps, this is gonna be just as stalematey, despite the last. I agree, the last is very hard cap, but when you're in that position, it's gonna be very hard to. It's gonna go one way or the other. It's never gonna be exchanging backwards, in my opinion. Cadis now on this rollout. We are ready and live with this mid-fight. Ombrack. Maybe looking at Cadis as he gets this shot onto Ali. One early sticky, but Ali takes a little bit of a high ground position. Goes back up to the slope now, while Drac sitting on top of the slope. Captain also cleans up there. Nicely done coordination from 7. It is Ali rotating out of Ali. Vanny is still alive and coming in. He does manage to come into drop down. Meets up with both soldiers, but doesn't even get a kill. He just dies. But Raptor did manage to get out, and he will have Uber to defend last at the very least. Unless they push.
Jump from Cervantes. He landed onto Kade's head. And Kades didn't even realize it. That was quite funny. So yeah, first made in favor of 7. Again, we said it previous time. They like to be in the lead, so if they can get a run now, it's gonna be really good for them. But Samsi's on sniper. Maybe he listened to the stream somehow, because he's looking for bottom left. No, he's going for main now, and let's see what 7 has in bags. They like to do like double sack with the soldiers, with both Captain and Drac, so maybe they'll try to do that to try to get the force out of Raptor.
Raptor sitting in a very weak position, doesn't have a lot of players with him, per se. All those players are holding down their respective entrances, but left main all open. Banny now sitting in lower, gonna be able to get eyes on to the main lobby way, as players are dipping in and out of the sight lines, trying to see what they can do. Cadis gonna catch Banny off a couple stickies there, but does not juggle him. Banny will just stay alive for just a moment longer. And some aggression from both soldiers on the side of 7. Coming over to the right side of the shutter, trying to get some coordinated spam. Could not catch out the lash on that sniper. Or sorry, Samsi. Not the lash. Samsi on that sniper. As he is now going to rotate back and forth. Find his home here at the upper lobby where he gets the sight line on it. Best player could accidentally stray into the sight line. Cadis getting very close. He's throwing stickies. Samsi's waiting very patiently, but no, it doesn't connect. Drac now sitting in the barrels, getting eyes on things. Starkey getting very far forward now, trying to catch Banny out, who's playing very aggressively on the lower angle. Gonna finally take an arrow before going down here, and this is the excitement of Badlands last. I need tactics, not standard.
And Ast is going NG for our greatest pleasure. So I think Swift will be happy to sit on last for 8 minutes if they have to. I think I've heard Ali being on the loose cannon, so he's gonna juggle the Uber if it comes from top. And yeah, I'm expecting to see a sack real soon, because in current situation 7 can't do anything. They need enough class. They need maybe Talash and Sniper or Drac on Spy, but they need something to happen. And look at Swift, they're basically 5 on top right with the sentry, so it's gonna be... You can't really do much there.
Nice aggression from Drac here as he tries to make his way in. Does get taken down by the sentry, completely blocking any entry whatsoever. Cleaned up by Banny. Almost got out too at the very end, but not gonna happen. This is not even gonna remotely coax Swift to push forward. Samsi though, gonna get a nice little headshot sound. I heard it as he was peeking lower. But once again, like I said,
she's going back to mid. She's going for sniper in the forward. Yeah.
There we go. Flash on the sniper. This is going to be a great battle, and this will set the pace for who will take this last point. But once again, Swift are not in a position to push out. They can hold this for as long as they like, even though it's 0-0. They are not in a position to lose this last point.
It's going to be a sniper duel between Samsi and Talash. Even though the sniper isn't really the frag you want there, you want maybe a more impactful frag, such as the demo or obviously the medic. So we can see that Talash is on top lobby, is waiting for someone to peek through the door, so maybe he can get a clean headshot, but I doubt this is gonna happen because Swift knows he's there. So I'm expecting him to switch position kind of quickly, and he's going to the main, being escorted by his 2 bodyguards. The soldier is gonna spam the sentry.
And actually, I just realized something. The way Banny's been holding this lower main area. Oh, Banny actually got taken down by Captain. What was that? That was that coordinated spam?
He was in the
main?
sentry, I think, and he died at the same time as the sentry.
Well, there you have it. With that pick and that sentry down, they're going to be coming in, forcing out the super on both sides. The sentry is still staying alive just a little bit. The Lash does get a snipe on a Samsi, and that pick is actually going to be a really big instance of working this point because the Lash has such a good angle on the point. Players just need to go to it. Drac rushing forward, going to take out Se7en right away and follow up onto Cadis. Cadis takes down Ali Boy, and so much damage. Slash gets another shot onto Bandy, a headshot onto Raptor. It is just Ass alive, and a follow-up from Samsi who comes in. The coordinated shots are coming in, and it's going to slow down players enough. They just need to go in for it. Cadis, you need the health. Go in. He kills Ass, cleans up onto Samsi, and the respawn is not going to come in time. But Ali does come up, and the cap finally happens in favor of Se7en. And wow, a couple of B-hops from Raymond there at the end too.
I don't understand why Raptor used. The Uber has been used on top lane like Se7en, and Raptor was in the stairs, he was being chased, but he was full HP and he used the Uber. I think he could have maybe milked it a bit more, so maybe get a better trade out of it. But in the end, it's 1-0 for Se7en with that weird depth from batting into the gun made the difference.
Alright, here it comes. This mid-fight, we do see immediately Se7en knocking Cadis out of the house, and they have complete control, but Swift are on top of it. Se7en take down Captain to try to go in and take care of that, but he took care of it himself. And now a follow-up bomb from Drac is going to come in, juggle Ali all the way back out of the choke. He craters too, and that is going to be a crucial frag as Slash comes in from the backside. He has eyes on Raptor, he's coming in now, full speed, but he misses out. Cadis is just behind him too. It's so much dodging, but the Lash finally pisses him down, and Cadis managed to pick up on the ass as well. It's Banny alive, but he gets taken out by Starkey, and Se7en hold on to this mid despite the poor positioning. Drac, the only death in that exchange.
And that's another mid. Se7en won the first mid, right? So that's another one for the Se7en team. And now this time they got Raptor, they got the medic, so they have an actual Uber advantage to use on Nas. We can see that Samsi is already on NG. We're building a gun on top right, and if they want. Maybe Se7en wants to go quickly, so the gun is on a level 3, but it looks like they're taking a bit too much time. But still, it's an advantage, and Se7en will want to use it wisely.
Players getting into position now as they go in the upper top area, making their way in now, spamming at that sentry. They will be able to get through. There's no power to slow things down. Samsi gets taken down in the lower, behind the point. We see Banny has rotated behind, has eyes onto Raymond. Gonna take him down, but Raptor also died in that exchange. There is Ali in the crow's nest, slowing things down. Cadis hears it and sees it, smells it. Can't do anything about it though. Here comes the first sticky, the first death of Ali. The second one goes down. Ali's very low on health, does crater to his death. And that'll be it. Clean fishing him out and then capping it off.
That was a clear push. I mean, there's not much to say about it. Had the Uber, they just cleaned up the frags. For some reason, Banny went for Raymond after the Uber, which I don't know, maybe wasn't the best decision because you usually don't want to kill the medic when the Uber has been used. You want to go for the fragging classes. But in the end, that's a 2-0 lead for Se7en. Pretty much as it was in Granary, and we can see Kid is going across the point, but he's getting jumped by Banny right away with Se7en. But Banny feels really weak and he dies to Starkey, and Se7en dies as well. No soldiers onto the Swift side. And if Se7en can take the point, they can win it. Raptor's trying to Banny hop away from the opposing team, but Slash gets Ali, even though he's really weak. It's only Raptor now who kills himself. What a mid from the scouts from Se7en.
Very strong showing. Raymond also keeping the heals up with those arrows, able to help coordinate the heals. Very strong weapon indeed. Very fun to use. Just too bad it builds Uber way too quickly. So they will be able to get this mid cap, but Banny is up and he's on Spire. He's not afraid. He's spamming the point. He does see eyes on Starkey. He's rushing up the Pride Rock and making his way to the point. Banny now jumping out of the shutter. Not going to be taking any more chances. A little bit too much work, too forward. And now he's going to be waiting with the rest of his team. Se7en over on the drop down did have eyes on some players, but it's not going to happen. A second point will be taken by Se7en. And last is all but assuredly theirs if a miracle doesn't happen.
This is pretty much the same situation. We can see Ali going up the tube once again, so the level 3 sentry is there, so it's exactly the same situation for Se7en. They just need a clean push. The Uber has been used top left onto Captain and Starkey. The gun's finally down. Gets on. Captain tries to go for Ali, but gets juggled by the stickies and a cool rocket from Banny, and finally dies. Banny dies, yeah, and Se7en as well. This is going completely havoc for Swift, but Samsy is on the heavy, and we know he can survive. We've seen him survive for a really long time earlier, but now he dies to a nice focus fire, and Ali is up against the world, up to the tube.
And he does manage to fall to his death once more. He always manages to get at least one pick, but he can't hold on to it forever because those rockets are very good at juggling him off the point, and he takes way too much damage to survive, and the Cadis just has the stickies at his feet, waiting to catch him in a carpet of stickies. And that'll be the end of it. 3-0 in the first 10 minutes. Ombrack, this is nothing like you said.
Yeah, they have the momentum going for some reason. Maybe like winning Grana with such a controlling fashion actually did them so much good that they're just in a role now, but Danny is going really active onto the house. He's close to the health pack, he's not going anything right now. Both guys from Swift are on the point. They're gonna deny soldiers, but they're not gonna deny Drac, who's doing a lot of damage. Raptor dies, and City dies as well. This is going really sour for Swift. They don't know what to do. They're getting Cadis and Starkey nice comeback frags from Se7en, and maybe they can clean this up unless Thalash goes completely mad and wins his 1v1 versus Ali Boy.
Thalash now walking his way to the point, baiting out the stickies. Gonna be rotating over one pipe is all it takes, but Ali doesn't know this. He's gonna start getting the cap on, and he sneaks onto the point, but Thalash gonna have to back off now for just a moment. Ali getting his stickies primed and ready. His teammates are coming into the mid fight, and it's also gonna be Captain jumping over the point with a big buff, hits onto Ali, but then immediately retreats. And Raymond, excuse me, went a little bit too close there, but did manage to get out. Swift taking their first mid of this Badlands series. And Ubers are relatively even, not going to be having Uber for just a moment, so there could be some dry push potential here as players work their way in. Se7en over in Diag spots out Drac in the drop down. This actually might be a free push.
Going for Raymond, and gets a frag with what helps with Ast, and he gets a nice frag onto Raymond. Two people died onto the Se7en side. Maybe they can go and try to counter sack onto Raptor, and it looks like Captain wants to lead the charge. Drac jumps in, gets some early damage onto Samsy, who's probably gonna die. Swift, Ali Boy gets Thalash with a nice sticky trap, and he's gonna cancel the aggression from Se7en, but Se7en gets the point, so that's an okay trade for the team led by Cadis.
But a huge disad on the side of Raymond, as he just now is waiting for the response. Did go forward, and now with full Uber, they're actually going to be able to take this point for free, not even popping their Uber. It's going to be up to Drac to potentially do a bomb, but no, he decides to back out of Valley instead. Captain and Starkey are over at the choke point, getting eyes on what's happening. Yeah, okay, Se7en is going to be finishing off that cap, and now working their way through Diag. Thalash is rotated his way to the point, does spot out some players. Banny jumps over the top and is going to get eyes onto the scouts, but both scouts taken down very quickly, and the drop down is still being completely controlled by Drac and Captain as they rotate their way through. Now they're going to be finally getting on the cap here, onto Spire, and the trap is going to pick up Ast from Cadis.
Yeah, it was a blind dead, and he got asked with it. Captain tried to jump from the Spire, but got completely denied. But the Uber is finally used by Raptor, and where's Raymond? Is he? Yeah, Raymond is out of position. He can't do anything. He's on last. Everyone's sacked for. Drac got a nice rocket into Se7en, and yeah, that was a 5-man sack to get the Uber out of Raptor. Will it be worth it? Only if Se7en can spawn in time.
Nice little desperate bomb to the point is Banny, as it goes very quickly and meets his death from Captain. I don't know what he was hoping for, but Banny basically fed.
So this is what we were talking about. Oh no, they actually, I wasn't expecting that. I think they were gonna start in last because I saw Thalash was an NG, but it looks like Se7en is gonna repush out of last. They're going trash. Samsy is the first casualty from a sticky trap from Cadis, and if they can get someone else, and they do, they get ass, and now they could get into the Spire quite freely. Ali is on his own, but he has to get out. Raptor almost have the Uber, so there may be a trade coming on really quickly.
Getting on to the point now. Ali is going to be able to pick up Captain though, and the cap is almost finished from Starkey, who does spot out Banny, who jumps in, tries to connect some rockets, but misses out once again. Cadis now with the Uber forcing off. Both demos are flashed And at the bottom of Spire, Sam's gets taken out by Drek over on the side of Diag as he works his way to the patio. He could potentially catch these players up. They don't even know he's there. He walks forward. He spots the medic. Raps is going to get jungled, but he's going to surf away. Completely safe. And yeah, okay, Se7en is going to be able to pick up that pick on the Drek. The Lash pistols him down. Now working their way through the house is going to be Se7en, as they do have even Ubers on both sides. They're going to be dry pushing. Spanny jumps in, tries to get some damage onto Cadis, who takes a lot of spam. He's so hurt, but he takes an arrow and stays alive for just a moment longer. Able to take out Banny right away, and now it's a follow from the Lash, who's peeking into the point, but gets cleaned up by Samzy. And now it's also a follow-up. Starkey and Captain making their way to the closet. Swift have backed off, and Se7en are holding the point as soon as they get to this cap. But no, Swifty are not going to back out. They come right back in and down Cadis right away. Following up is the Captain, very low on health, getting out of the choke. The arrow comes and saves him for just a moment, but now a bomb from Se7en is going to cut these players. The force comes off, and they are both flashed.
Can they get Raptor in time?
Doesn't have the Uber.
They got the Austrian medic, but it was like 95% of Uber. That was really close call there. They got it in the end, and Ast and Silentus salvaging the situation by getting Raymond, and Samzy, look at him, he gets all the frags onto Captain Starkey, helped by Ast and Thalash. That was a nice cleanup frags from the scouts, and now the situation is completely upside down in favor of Swift.
Cadis now in the defensive with Draken's drop down. He's going to rotate over to the resub. He's going to be just fine now. Cadis is going to be setting up these stickies to slow down any potential shenanigans. I don't think Swift is going to be put in code. Even though they have a 30 ad, they need to work their way slowly into the lobby right now. I don't think they're going to be able to push with any advantage, though they're building very sizably. Wow, a 50 advantage practically at this moment, thanks to that crossbow building. Swift are going to have to take full advantage of that as they work their way through main. They have the Uber in just a moment. Will they make it happen here? Walk us through this last push, Ombrack.
The Uber has been used on Subani from main. He jumps, but he gets completely denied by the sentry, and the pyro is now up from Starkey, but he's already so weak, he's going back into spawn. And Raymond dives to nice flank play from Samzy. No heals on the side of Se7en, so even if Al is dead, it could be it from Swift if they manage to focus the targets. Look at Samzy hiding behind the pillar. It doesn't play to the heavy from Thalash, and this is a round for Swift. This is a 3-1 round, and that was a really nice Uber, nice executed push from Swift.
Very good stuff. Very solid building. They turn a 20 ad into a 40 ad very quickly, and I was very surprised by that. And with that, Swift are now hopefully taking the driver's seat. They're going to be carrying this momentum on to the rest of this round because it's 3-1, and Swift are behind. We do see Ali getting to mid. My HUD is broken, and I can't see the proper timer, so I have no idea if he was fast or not. But he is going to get there. Spot eyes onto the closet players rotating on the side of Se7en. Cadis takes an arrow and is going to stay alive for just a moment longer, but they have no positioning. Samzy picks up Slash, and Drak is on top of it. The closet push is happening, but Banny jumping in now, getting eyes onto poor Starkey. He's going to be denied, and the follow-up spam. Se7en is actually going to be able to come from behind and clean up onto 3 players, Captain, Raymond, and Cadis. The combo class is down, and all it took was 1 player.
He wasn't even behind, he just went from house and walked over their heads with nice rockets onto everyone. He just got to clean up frags. I think he just walked in like new roaming style from Silentis, and in the end that's another 100% hat for a Raptor onto last, and that should, if executed properly again, that could be the comeback from Swift. The Uber has been used on top left with Starkey with an, he fell down, but he got the 2 nice reflect onto the Uber. Now the sentry dies to Banny, and look at the flank play from Starkey and Captain, just doing so much damage with the heavy from Thalash as well, getting 3 frag Thalash with the Natasha, and that could be a repush for Se7en if they manage to get. Oh, Silentus almost got Raymond on top on main, but he got tanked by Thalash.
The repush is coming from Se7en. Very good hold thanks to Thalash, completely clutching it out for his team. It's going to also get this second cap, but Banny is ready to push forward. He does have a decent sized buff. He's going to go for it. He's going for the bomb. He gets onto Thalash, misses the air shot. Cut him some slack. It's 150 ping. And they are going to be able to stop the point, though, and that was a very good timing. They do have Uber, though. Se7en will be pushing in very shortly. If they want to take the Spire quickly, they got to be worried about that back cap potential.
They're going for it. They have so much cap time on 2 points. It would be a waste not to push for it. Captain tries to jump, but he gets completely denied by Ast, and now the Uber is finally used onto the Dutch soldier. But in the end, the charge is only used to cap the Spire. It's not a really good trade for Se7en. And look, Danny is trying to poke onto the Spire. He almost went for Raymond, but he lost sight of the medic. And now with 3 people down onto Se7en, it's looking really onto Swift. This is looking really grim for Swift.
Swift are now desperate, but Se7en almost stays alive for just a moment longer. It's a bomb from Drac, connecting onto Raptor, misses the first rocket, fluffs it around, hits the second one, but gets cleaned up by Ast. So Raptor will stay alive for just a moment longer, getting his Uber in time and going to be re-pushing here into the midpoint. Wiethoofd setting up a sticky trap in the house very sneakily, but the push is coming from house and they aren't even going to have to pop their Uber off. Raptor playing very cautiously, going to be peeking in now. They're going to take the point very easily and not even have to pop up their Uber, but they won't be able to push into second unless they go right now, because their respawns are all the way back. And the Uber is almost ready for Raymond.
Yeah, Uber almost ready, but yet they're standing really, really far back. Look at Se7en, they're in trash on the back foot. But Wiethoofd calls maybe for going forward. The Uber is finally used on both sides, but Raymond has to flash onto Wiethoofd. And now this is going to be interesting to see how they fight this. Bunny's jumping higher than his ping up in the sky, but it gets cleaned up by Starkey. And now another bomb from Se7en trying to go for Raymond, finally cleans up by Se7en. Nice follow-up from the German scout. And now only Ali and Raptor are up, and Se7en can be on the prowl if they want to get the medic.
Ali showing a lot of pipe spam. Raptor gonna try and stay alive, but Ali jumps past him. Thankfully, though, gonna be alive. Nice little pipe. Can he get a second one? Oh, nice saw from Raptor. That's actually gonna be a crucial saw because that is a sizable advantage now available to them while Raymond is waiting for the respawn. He has spawned up, and Uber is ready on the side of Swift. They're rushing in. 3 players jumping to the point, almost instantaneously taking the point. And now with full Uber ad, they need to start working their way in. Se7en needs to back out because they cannot defend this, but they do need to force his Uber off potentially.
They might already want to set up on last because they're gonna get caught off guard if they stay on trash. Yeah, we can see Talash already and Engineer on the last one. Drac dies, kinda off timing for Drac to die now because you won your 6 players. The Raptor is going onto the upper lobby with his team. Captain was in behind. No soldiers on Se7en. This is not a good operation for them. Bunny's leading charge on top right. They haven't used yet, and with the Pyro and the Sentry, maybe that will not be enough to use. Raptor is holding onto his Uber forever.
Very good hold. Now going to be popping it off, but isn't able to save Benny. But they will be able to pick up Raymond here at the end of this exchange. But there's still a full-blooded Sentry able to pick up Raptor, and both scouts are sitting behind the point, unable to do anything. Se7en's going to try and pepper it away with shots, but does get taken down. And Thalash did a very good job there as the engineer.
Sentry did a really good job at shooting at Raptor, who thought he could win a one-on-one versus a Sentry gun with auto aim, so kind of a questionable play from the medic. Bunny is trying to jump in on the Spire again. Look at Talash, he tried to go for Raptor, going him mid HP, but in the end he gets cleaned up by Bunny, and Se7en might as well go back now unless they want to get completely cleaned up.
All eyes are on Swift as they start working their way in through the lobby. They lost the last push, but they were able to retake the second very quickly, and now we do see a small advantage, not enough to work with, but they're going to go for the dry push here as they are able to pick up Starkey right away. Ast doing a very good job rushing forward. Thalash is caught in the doorway. They need to go for the point. We do see Wiethoofd is sitting inside the tube. Drac is going to get taken down. The stickies are going to get forced off. Se7en gets some good damage onto Wiethoofd, and one little shot is all they're going to take. The stickies are gone now, and they're going to get down the cap. It is it. They are going to take the second round, and there are 7 minutes left. There are 7 minutes left, and it's all eyes on Swift.
Yeah, it's a really nice drive push from Swift. I don't think Se7en expected that one, and that's what caught them off guard. And now, yes, 3-2. The comeback is actually happening, and let's see how Ali will deal with this mid. Right now he's on balcony trying to land some stickies onto the other side balcony, but no one gets hit by the gun, and both Se7en and Se7en are just running around their medic trying to clean up the bombing soldiers. Drax is the first casualty of this mid, and now everyone is playing around Raymond trying to get him keep him alive. But this is looking grim once again. Look at Buddy and Se7en both soldiers jumped onto the medic to be sure they got the frag, and Starkey is the only one alive. He gets asked. Really nice duel won by Starkey, and but in the end Raptor lives, and it's another sizable advantage for Swift.
I really want to see Se7en pull out the Spire defense. They could hold on last. You know, last is the safe option, but with an Uber disad, they need to be playing second. We do see Raymond pushing out with the rest of the teammates. Thalash on that sniper, like I said earlier. This is the off off-brand sniper. Not expecting it, but they are actually expecting it this time. As actually Swift are going to be able to pick up both Cadis and Captain, but Celentis gets taken out by Starkey, and they are going to be a back spawn here. Get set up. The Lash did back up as well. They are going to get the second cap. Swift will be able to push forward, and they still have that Uber advantage.
All the previous pushes from Swift have been really, really good, so I'm expecting this one to be quite as decisive as the other one. Ali is sitting main with the Uber. Uber is getting used on him. He's just jumping right into the sentry gun. He's getting kind of denied, but he finally gets it. No, Stalash went onto a heavy, but this push is not really good. Nothing has been done. No casualties onto the 7 side, and now Ali has to retreat. Cadus dies. That's a really nice pick from Samsi. That means no sticky on point, so maybe Swift can be aggressive on that.
The aggression is very strong on the side of 7. They want to hold on to this as much as they can. The Lash takes a lot of damage here, trying to win the 1v1 against Ast. Ast is going to think better of it back out because Ali was a casualty from Starkey, and Banny is going to be backing up out of the lobby and out of the drop down onto the Spire. Can they defend this long enough to get the respawns and potentially force an Uber if Raymond gets a little too antsy? I think Raymond wants to hold last. They have the advantage. The time is very close. They do not want to let up anything at all.
They don't want to push that. They have the charge, but it's only 4 minutes, and it's now that pushing out is risky. We know it's TF2, pushing out is a mistake. So they're just going to sit on the last, see what Swift will throw at them. They'll try to overcome that, but with the sniper and the gun, they'll just be happy to stay there forever.
Cadis with this loose cannon, we didn't get a chance to talk about it, but I'm sure anyone who's played TF2 knows how the loose cannon works on this last. It's very strong at knocking players, juggling them inside their entryways. And Cadis here, or Ali, almost getting caught out there as he stepped a little bit forward in the main lobby. Gonna have to back up here. Starkey and Samsi are both on sniper. It's a sniper war right now, and Samsi is currently hoping to get this advantage for Swift so they can repush. Ali peeking very aggressively with the pipe bomber, the iron bomber rather, and gonna coax a sniper to come into the sight line here as Samsi has his shot charged up. He's going to rotate underneath instead, get eyes onto Captain, who's very close to the main area, but is not going to peek forward for fear of that sniper. And now we do hear another shot going off. Starkey going to be rotating back and forth, trying to find the angle he needs to defensively hold this, while Samsi rotates back to main.
Ali feels really weak, but he finally still lives, and Swift will have to make something happen. They can't wait for Samsi now to get a pick because the clock is ticking, so they had really good trades so far on that land, so maybe this is an opportunity for them, but with the gun, it's going to be really hard. So they ought to find a solution, maybe go from lower right, try to get Raptor track out of position and get a frag. But now, if they wait for Samsi, that could take a bit too long.
Ooh, I heard the loose cannon almost get the double donk, and Drac actually going to be a death here from Ast, who's rotated himself to the back of the point. They need to clear up the stickies, and he could get this cap. Essentially, the sentry doesn't have eyes on it. And no, he does finally get met up by Starkey to get the frag, but Celentis is close behind, ready to get that frag onto Starkey, who does take a little bit of a rocket there. We do see a peeking from Ali. There is no pyro to slow things down, so they just need to kill the sentry, but Ali hasn't done anything with the... What are you doing, Ali?
Look at Cadus and Raymond, they're not moving. They were just bugging Ali, so he couldn't get out. They were not moving with the charge. Cadus did not shoot a single pipe when it was the Uber, so with Ali down, I think now, no matter how many frags they will get, unless it's a wipe, they're not going to push out of last. It's 1 minute and 45 seconds. It's like one Uber push and one dry push for Swift. So they don't have, they can't lose this. And Samsi is on a heavy.
Samsi on heavy. Got the eviction notice to get to the point a little bit faster. This heavy push is actually going to be really crucial to get this golden cap potential. We've got just 90 seconds left in this match. Samsi now rotating over the left side. The Uber is forced off. They're going to be able to take down the Pyro. Starkey so low on health, finally gets taken down, but the gun is still up and so strong. They're going to be rotating Samsi to the other side as he gets eyes onto Drac, but it's not going to be enough. They need to heal up now very quickly. They need to force off this Uber for Raven, who's very low on health. And then it's going to be all they need to take this round. They do manage to pick off Banny, though. And with Banny down, it's going to be very hard for them to follow up. But Captain is going to get taken down by Samsi. Still in that heavy. Tomislav throwing all of his damage out. The sentry does go down. 45 seconds left on Ombrack. What is going to happen?
This is crumble from Se7en. That Uber was terrible from Raymond, is they did nothing with it, and I don't understand what happened. And now with the heavy to Samzi, gets one frag onto Starkey, it's getting really weak, maybe gets cleaned up. And Ali may die as well. Everyone is weak onto... I think Raymond got wrapped up with a completely no arrow.
Nice arrow from Raptor, or from Raymond to kill Raptor. It's only Solentus alive, and there's 15 seconds on the clock. He's waiting way too long to try and make something happen here. It's all for naught anyway, because they have Captain above the point. Sticky's on it. I think Se7en is going to hold on to this. Here we go. Solentus makes his way to the point. He does go up. He sees the player on the point. Jumps up, but it doesn't work. A follow-up from Ast is trying to get up to the point. Ali as well, but it's not going to be enough. It's a final desperate push. Doesn't get the cap, and Se7en are your champions of the Essentials One Night Cup.
Whoa, that was tight. Whoa, like when they were 3-0 for Se7en, I thought, okay, that's it. But somehow Swift managed to, build a new momentum back, and they almost did it when you think about it. That was really close, and props to both teams. And again, with I-61 coming around the corner, this is looking really intense.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Victory on the side of Se7en, coming back from a 1-0 deficit in the map pool, losing out goalie wash, but coming back on Granary, and this match Badlands in a very nail-biting push to close it off. Samzi trying to make something happen with the Tomislav Heavy, couldn't pull it through, and we're going to look at the logs real quick, and then do not leave. I-61 information is coming up from Henny himself, as well as the reveal of the group stage and the tournament schedule for our Insomnia Land weekend. But what do you see on these logs? What's what?
Okay, let me open them. I'll see. I'm just taking a guess. Is Benny top damaging again? He can't be.
No, he's in the middle of the pack, and he's bottom. Damn it, bottom fragging.
Well, Ali
almost top
big
deaths too. Benny is like, this is Benny's worst game all day. The first time he hasn't broken 300 DPM, the first time he hasn't gotten top damage, first time he's bottom fragged in the entire server, and they barely lost. What does that say to you?
That says to me that when he doesn't have pink, this is gonna be lit. That's what I take from that.
There it is.
I don't know. Like...
That's the analysis that we all couldn't have guessed ourselves. It was so intense. Banny on land, yes, we get it. He's going to be incredible. Let's get off that. Let's talk about the real stat. Look at all the frags.
Big numbers from Ali. Like, it's a stalemate map, and yet he top damage on demo. That's not really usual. So really good stuff from him. Nice play from Starkey as well, like going 25 for 13. Really impressive. Talash as well, with pretty much the same ratio as his fellow scouts. So yeah, big numbers onto both of the scouts from Se7en.
Yeah, 3 damage points more than the second best damager on the team, which is going to be Captain, doing 280 damage as well. But when I look at the frags on the side of Se7en, it is so intense. There are 3 25 frag markers, 24 for Captain. And that's just such a strong showing from Talash and Starkey, practically the same player, with roughly the same deaths and frags. Really good showing from them as far as sniping, and that one Talash last where he toggled and got the headshot onto Raymond and 3 kills total at the end of the push. That was really intense stuff.
And when you look at mids, it really goes to show how the map went. The 3 first mids are for Se7en, and the 3 last mids are for Swift. It's really like, there's a line, you can see it. One team had the momentum at the beginning of the map, and then Swift took it over, but not nearly enough to get the map.
I think that'll be it. I don't know what else to cover. I mean, yeah, if things are happening, I actually need to be getting going. It is 6 o'clock, and I need to be out the door right now. But it's been fun casting. You guys need to cover it with Henny and everything else going on with the I-61 preview right now, as soon as Henny gets in here and we do other interviews. But I have to go. Hey, Cadis. I love you. Bye.
Hey, later, man.
Yeah, he doesn't really want to speak with you, you know?
Who is he?
Rao. He casted with me.
Never heard of him.
He had to go.
Ooh, never heard of him.
That's rude. You've heard it first. Yeah, do we expect anyone else but Cadus? I don't know, so I'll just go with the one that's already there. So, hi Cadus, GG for the win. That looked pretty dire at the beginning. You lost the first map on Gulewash, and we wondered how would you guys bounce back, and then Granary was such a strong show-off for you guys.
Yeah, man, I don't really know what happened on the first map. We just did like mids, nothing like we scrimmed, and then I yelled at everyone, but it made them sad rather than good. And then between the maps, I yelled at them again, and it worked.
Oh, so yelling is actually the secret to Se7en success. Keep that in mind, Chad. If you want to be successful one day, yell at your teammates.
Yeah, no, the mids were just like, from my perspective, the mids on Gully were just a bit of a joke. Like, we threw like 2 or 3 of them completely, like, they were like, low tier mids. And then if you do that against a good team, you're probably going to lose. But we didn't do that on the other maps, so it was fine.
I think that's the first time in a long time that we've seen Se7en on stream. You guys at some point weren't going to I61 anymore. Now you're back in business. And this Wine Night Cup was pretty much a preview what's going to happen at I61. So how do you feel you can perform even better at LAN that when what you showed tonight?
Yeah, I think so. Like, I mean, everyone has their problems, obviously. Like, Banny's playing on high ping, but I myself am playing on mobile internet still. I have been for like a month. Like, I moved house and they just haven't installed internet yet, so I can definitely do like a shitload better than I'm doing at the moment. I'm sure the same goes for others like Banny playing from NA, but I'm pretty sure the overall like quality of play from all the teams will be actually better at the LAN.
You've played versus Antic in the previous run, if I'm not mistaken, which is another team that will go to LAN. So, what do you think about like the competition you have? What do you think about Antic? You played SVIFT tonight. Do you reckon the LAN will be really be close?
Mate, I don't really know, to be honest. Like you said, we didn't really play for a while. We played the last week. Like, there's good players floating around, but I don't really know the lay of the land as far as the teams go. Antics seem pretty hit or miss, but they could be, they're like high emotion players. So maybe, they get a good day on LAN and can do something. Ascent, God knows, man. I think everyone can probably do pretty good, but you're asking the wrong guy, to be honest, mate. I don't know. It's going to be great, I'll just say that, mate.
And one last question. We need to know what happened about Starkey. He wasn't going for LAN at some point, now he's back. What went through his mind?
No fucking idea, man. Honestly, I have no idea. He wasn't going, and then we folded like 3 times. Like kind of played playoffs just because we thought it would be lame to fold before playoffs. Obviously, that turned out a complete disaster. So then we double folded, and then I don't know. Like a week ago, I just made like one last sort of hurrah of trying to make us go. We had fucking, for some reason, Stark decided he'd be okay roaming, but then Haffy could go, which was like our plan when Stark was roaming, and then I think Stark just took pity on us because we like, everyone's kind of lost interest in the game, like online, but like, we wanted to sort of do, sort of one last effort to make like the LAN good for everyone, like the community, even though people hate us. Like, to be honest, it's more for the community than it is for us, so yeah, we just threw something together, I guess. I hope it's going to be decent.
So at one point there weren't going to be any Se7en at I61. You can confirm that? Yeah,
no. Like we were sort of going to go for a while with Paddy, but then our motivation was just so low. So then when we kind of, I don't know, at some point we were just like, nah, we can't be bothered, so we weren't going to go. And I don't really know how it ended up that we were going. Like honestly, we just sort of. It seemed like a shame that LAN was kind of, I don't know, taking a turn for worse, so we just, I don't know, we did our best to make something happen.
You've heard it there, boys. Se7en is going to save the LAN. Talking about I61, we're joined by with Henny from Essentials.TF, who's going to talk to us about group stages, so stay tuned, and hi, Henny.
Hello, thank you for letting me join in.
Yeah, I'm the boss. I'm the one who decided to let you join in, I'm the one who's controlling everything. So what can you tell us about group stages?
Well, for a starter, we'll have 8 teams in the invite. That's the biggest one for a while now. And we're gonna split it into two groups, a Group A and a Group B, where teams were seeded and drawn into the groups. And I assume maybe Wiethoofd has the graphics up now. And you guys can see the groups for yourself. We have Group A with Se7en, Lowpander, Antic, and 1 to be decided. And then we have Group B with SVIFT, Ascent, Nunya, and Weeb Tunnel Tactics. The interesting one there is probably in Group A, the to be decided, where you guys should tune in tomorrow to see Duke's Fan Club and MK Cat battle it out for that spot. Tomorrow on the Essentials Twitch at 21:00 CST.
Interesting stuff. So, on one hand, we have Se7en, Lowpander, and Hantic on the same group, and when it comes to top seeded team, and on the other side we have SVIFT and Ascent, and in another fashion Nunya. Good stuff, chat. I don't know what you think about it, but I like it.
Yeah, I think you always have that problem with skill gaps when you seed, and especially looking at these groups. But I think we did the best we could out of the situation, and I mean Se7en fucking up my scheduling several times. So thank them for two groups.
You're welcome.
I guess that's everything we had to cover tonight. You said it, Henny. Tune in tomorrow for the game between the Oxford Club and MK Cat for the last spot into the invite group. That will be again on Essentials.TF. Follow us on Twitch, follow us on Twitter, and I don't know, maybe Katus, if you wanna have any shoutouts to close this up.
Shout out to the boys. Shout out to you guys for making it happen.
Okay, so don't shout out to girls. You know, girls, you're not allowed to play video games, apparently. That's what Katus said. For me, I will shout out everyone in chat for being there tonight. Shout out to every team who played this cup for making it happen. Shout out to Katus for coming in. Shout out to Wiethoofd for producing this, and to Henny for his insight of I-61. That was me, Ombrack, with the rope pieces for quite a long time, but he had to go. You know, Americans are like, I don't know, I don't understand these guys. And we'll see you at I-61.